The Link, here on Breeze 93.9 FM.
Don't tell me stories Sinya uli di sombranza tenmak et zu ita saluda antes di niga Radzaudzan malak estrezas Duretin todo em memu A nogi distância Como gupugi palu Zaniman malak guafi Con una sughiairi preba tu la noci nai banderata gaigi pues atan fanni bandera kau Esta pagua pumalapa Giluk tanu man libri Sentamiti man ko badi
Somehow stepped into my life, and you bring sunshine to my eyes. You make my life worth living for, and you make me hold on to my dreams once more. You, my friend, make me whole.
All right. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. If the sun coming up, it's starting to come up, didn't wake you up, then hopefully our ad hoc light show and the Link rave on a Tuesday morning, hopefully that got you up. And we got a member sent to me privately on WhatsApp, and this is why, for good reason. Sean Gumatao, the host of the That's It, That's All podcast, says, good morning. Watching right now on the Link, leave the dancing to others, Jason. Good advice.
You didn't like the washing machine?
What? No, you didn't like no, that's the water sprinkler.
Oh, which one's the washing machine?
No, washing
The,
machine.
this one?
No, that's Cabbage Patch.
Oh, okay.
Wait, right? No, Cabbage
The
Patch.
sprinkler.
Roger Rabbit.
Okay. You got the
Running
camera on this
Man.
guy?
No, remember that? We're bringing back 1988, guys. Bobby Brown. Remember when Bobby Brown came to Guam? I had to pick up my sister from the UOG Fieldhouse at the Bobby Brown concert.
Mm-hmm.
And she went with a bunch of her friends, and I think at the time she was like 14.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Oh, Stacy, how was?" As soon as they came out, all these 14-year-old girls, every little step I take, non-stop. They were so into the concert.
Oh, boy. Oh.
Wait, Bobby Brown came to Guam. What, Uncle Ken?
Yes.
Twice? No.
I think only once.
Okay, correct me,
That I
Link.
can remember.
Yeah, at my age, my memory's like, okay, so Bobby Brown came to Guam once. The Jets came to Guam 2 or 3 times. The Jets.
Twice, I think.
The Jets came here twice. They played twice. Santana played once.
No.
On Guam?
No, Carlos Santana, remember?
Yeah.
Down at Paseo. Wait, more than once?
More than once.
Oh, really?
I think
Okay.
He's been here twice. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, who else has played here? Skid Row played once.
That was down at Naval
Nope.
Station, right?
No, that was at UOG in
UOG.
in 93. Sebastian Bach. I remember that. 18 and life it counted. 18 and life and all. I was like, wow, dude. Sebastian Bach is a tall dude, too. Okay, so what is your favorite concert memory like on Guam? I've shared this before. I was in high school in 1992. Me and my friends were on the tennis team, and we went to go like just like rally at what's now what's the Loti Hotel, right? So we air quotes, we snuck into the tennis court, and we went there, and there were these 2 wonderful like Australian gentlemen. They're like, oh, g'day. Do you mind if we have a fancy like a romp with you? Like, can we rally? That's a terrible Australian accent, by the way. So me and my friends, we're these 17-year-old kids from Dedido, right? And we're just going there having like a spirited workout with these 2 nice Australian guys. One tall blonde guy, one short brunette guy, right? And then they're like, oh guys, we gotta go. We gotta get ready for our show. We're like, show? And they're like, hey, since you worked out with us, why don't you come to the show? They gave us some tickets. It was Air Supply.
Oh, wow.
No
What a
kidding.
treat, huh?
I remember that. The tickets were like $55. And I was like, guys, we just met Air Supply. We had no idea. So they played here once.
What songs do they sing again?
Making love out of nothing at all. How do you not know an Air Supply
I
song?
was hoping you would sing a song or something.
Ding, 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 ding.
Too easy.
Yeah. Okay, so that is the topic for this morning. We had no idea we were going to talk about this when we started the show, but what is your favorite concert memory, Link fam, on Guam? Good morning, half a day to each and every one of you. It's a Tuesday morning. I'm Jason Salas, clearly losing my damn mind. Sabrina Salas Mantanani has there with the lovely multicolored mask. That is nice.
Oh, thank you.
You got the whole, like Photoshop experts would say, oh, she's wearing a gradient. It goes from pink to blue to, is that yellow or green?
I can't
Yellow.
see him wearing it. So.
Okay. Uncle Ken is here. You've heard Uncle Ken. He's a longtime host of KUM radio shows. He's also done Chamorro News for the last couple of years. He is working the board. Half a day. Buenas, Uncle Ken.
Buenos than half a day.
All right. And the only guy here that basically has his mental faculties intact right now is DJ Joe, sir, the guy who makes us look good and makes us sound good and has the self-assurance that you're actually doing things right. We're operating without a net here today, but tell you what, guys, it's a great day for you guys to tune into the Link. We got a jam-packed show. We are going to tell you guys. Remember, we were talking to you yesterday, and Bree and I actually interviewed our friends from the Department of Administration. We're going to rerun that interview with Bernie Guinness and Audrey Topazna, telling you how you can avail of their various public assistance programs, including how to pay your water bill. Now we're going to the other side of the utility coin, And we're going to tell you how you can save energy and save on your power bill because our friends from GPA will be coming in. We're going to talk about that at the top of the hour. Also, a program you need to know about, distracted driving. Exactly what is that? It goes way beyond just trying to text on your cell phone. Yeah, I see people making TikToks these days while they're driving. You guys are insane. And we're going to talk to our friends from the Department of Public Works Highway Division as well as GPD on what you need to know if you get caught doing that. Also, Louise Munya, I should say. She is the new...
Luisa Borja.
Luisa Borja, I'm
Yes.
sorry. She is the new president-elect of Victims Advocates Reaching Out, an organization that we have worked with for many, many years. We're going to talk to her about what her vision is for the organization. And then we are going to talk to our friend, attorney Mike Pangilinan, the president of the Society of Human Resources Managers, because if you guys haven't gotten on board with this whole concept known as DEI, right? Diversity, equality, and inclusion. Mike is going to talk to us about what it means to have a diverse workplace, why that's important, what HR managers need to know about encouraging, hiring a multitude of people from different backgrounds, ethnicities, lifestyle preferences, what have you. And that, Bree, kind of like dovetails nicely and interestingly into what overwhelmingly was now last night's big story, was the story about the transgender female and the controversy that has now ensued playing in a high school rugby game right here on Guam. Tons of comments on that one.
We actually have that story. We'll get to the link update with Isaiah Uggan. Excuse me, Hannah Devonzo.
This news update is brought to you by Pacific Points. Do more, get more.
Hafa-day and good morning. I'm Hannah Devonzo, and here are your headlines on the link. Guam's High School Rugby League kicked off another season over the weekend, and concerns arose quickly from families as well as both coaches and players about a transgender competitor from the home of the Panthers. KUAM's Isaiah Uggan has the story.
3 Tizen high school female rugby athletes were physically injured Saturday by a transgender player from Guam High. In light of the incident, Conrad Kerber, the head coach for both Tizen boys and girls rugby teams, is calling out the league to address the concerns.
The aggressive nature that was witnessed clearly showed that it's a definite issue that we have to deal with. I had 3 players that were injured in that first game against Guam High, directly by that particular player. Right now, we just have to come together as a group and discuss the proper path to take, discuss what the parameters are with allowing transgender males in full contact sports such as rugby.
Although no official decision has been made and while discussions are ongoing, Kerber hopes the league will adopt the World Rugby Law Transgender Guideline, which states that transgender women may not currently play women's rugby because of the size, force, and power-producing advantages conferred by testosterone during puberty and adolescence, and the resultant player welfare risks serious injuries.
Body size, body strength, and the ability to apply force with that size and strength completely dominate any girl that I have on my team.
The Academy of Our Lady of Guam's rugby team coaches unanimously agreed to enforce this rule over the weekend. Aiming to follow the footsteps of the home of the Cougars, Kerber says it's a matter of safety for his female athletes.
It's purely a safety issue when we discuss transgender males playing in female sports at a youth level, particularly at this type of contact sport as well. And I'm basically in line with the World Rugby guidelines regarding transgender females, transgender males, I should say, playing female sports. And basically, across the world, it's not permitted.
To prevent any serious injuries throughout the season, Kerber stated the World Rugby law should be acknowledged on Guam.
It has to do purely with the size, force, strength disadvantage that transgender males will have over females in this type of sport.
There's no policy in place currently for outdoor leagues that bans the participation of transgender women in rugby.
My players will get through it, we'll heal, we'll use this next 2 weeks. We're lucky that we actually have a bye weekend so that we can heal properly.
Guam Rugby Football Union and Interscholastic Sports Association discussions are ongoing. KUAM News has reached out to Guam High Coach Joe Mancuso and did not respond as of news time. Reporting for KUAM News, Guahusi Isaiah Uggan.
Senator Talina Nelson is facing major backlash following her introduction of Bill 291-36, also known as Guam Heartbeat Act of 2022. A press conference was held today by Guam People for Choice denouncing the bill, which they referred to as the latest election year anti-abortion copycat bill. Bill 291-36, titled the Guam Heartbeat Act of 2022, was introduced by Senator Talina Nelson. This bill was modeled after the Texas heartbeat law. The bill seeks to ban abortions when a heartbeat is detected. If an abortion is performed after a heartbeat is detected, non-government officials or employees can file a lawsuit with the Superior Court of Guam or District Court of Guam against anyone that performs or induces the abortion with a minimum fine of $10,000. However, mothers cannot be sued for having an abortion. Denouncing the bill are members of the Guam People for Choice. Lawyer and partner at the Areola law firm, Anita Areola, spoke during a press conference held this morning.
Even though it says that you can't have an abortion after 6 weeks and when a heartbeat is detected, most women do not know when they are pregnant because it's too early in their pregnancy for them to know that.
The bill's only exception in which an abortion is permitted is when a mother's health or life is at risk due to pregnancy.
There are no exceptions for rape, incest, or sexual assaults. Something that is really, so disturbing in an island here on Guam where we have the second highest rate of sexual assaults and rapes in the country.
According to Areola, the bill's introduction was highly predictable.
It's not uncommon, and in fact it's pretty common for senators to sponsor anti-abortion bills during an election year. Don't really understand why they don't do it during a non-election year, but they do it during an election year, obviously, to cater and pander to votes and to get reelected.
Attorney Areola claims they will be writing letters to all of the senators encouraging them to vote against this bill. In addition, the Guam People for Choice started an online petition in opposition of the bill and have almost 1,000 votes. KUAM reached out to Senator Talina Nelson for comment and have yet to hear back as of news time. Republicans are crying foul over messaging that's circulating on social media that they say contain false information about a controversial resolution scheduled to be discussed at legislative session on Thursday. In a news release, the Republican Party of Guam complained about postings that claim Senator Chris Dueñas' resolution to end the public health emergency would jeopardize aid for 15,000 families and 45,000 children. They say the resolution addresses many of the concerns of frontliners and are open to suggested changes. They also said they're disappointed that dirty tactics are being used to discredit Minority Leader Senator Dueñas in a critical legislative process which will restore our people's freedom while taking away supreme powers of the governor when it comes to procurement and hiring. Once again, the hearing on the Dueñas resolution is scheduled for Thursday at 10 a.m. And it's no secret that Guam's gas prices are extremely high compared to the rest of the nation. But according to a detailed cost analysis of local fuel retailers, Congressman Michael San Nicolas says they appear to be making excessively high profits off the back of local consumers. Nestor Lecanto reports.
Congressman San Nicolas says it just doesn't add up. Based on his investigation and review, which included testimony from confidential industry insiders, he was able to verify the total landed cost for the private sector, including shipping, fees, taxes, and delivery to local pumps, comes out to about $3.56 before profit.
What is it going to be sold at? $5.7980, a difference of $2.24 per gallon. The profit that the gas stations are making from landed cost to retail cost outside the base is $2.24 per gallon. That's a lot. That's a profit margin of 62.9%, about 63% profit margin.
He says the average profit margin nationally is 20%. Separately, the Congressional Research Office confirmed for him that the 17-cent per gallon federal excise tax on fuel, it doesn't apply here.
Now step back and think about it for a minute. If the national average on retail gas prices is a margin of 20 or 30%, and if our margins here are 62.9%, and we don't pay that federal excise tax, then where is that federal excise tax savings? We're not even realizing that.
And to further make his case, Nicholas also did a comparison with local military gas prices, which are much cheaper. He says, contrary to popular belief, DOD pays the same costs as the private sector.
They bring the fuel the exact same way, through the exact same channels and the exact same cost centers as all of our gas stations do outside of the base.
As of April 7, gas inside was $4.31 a gallon. Outside, it was $5.79, or 34% higher. St. Nicholas also asked the Federal Trade Commission to investigate why local gas stations all charge the same prices all at the same time. But the FTC told him they need a whistleblower to come forward to investigate collusion. Finally, St. Nicholas suggests that Speaker Terlahi's recent legislation to lift the liquid fuel tax is not a lasting solution and will reduce much-needed government revenue. His answer is to limit the profits of fuel companies to 30%. Anything more will be taxed and rebated back to consumers.
Make a healthy industry standard profit. But you're not going to harm the people of Guam and hold them hostage just because you can, and just because we cannot prove that you're colluding.
For KOAM News, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
Over in the NMI, Governor Ralph Torres faces potential fines and even jail time if the criminal charges filed by the NMI Attorney General's office move forward. Regional correspondent Tomas Manglutnia has the latest details with reactions from across the Marianas.
But I am certain that since I started my journey to work for you, the people of the Commonwealth, that I have always had your interests, your safety, and your livelihoods at the forefront of any and every decision I make.
That was Governor Ralph Torres in December responding to the allegations of corruption, felony, and neglect of duty that they eventually impeached him for a month of the charges. The November election is nearing, and Torres continues to find himself in hot water. Tomas Manglutnia for KOAM News.
The island's only video game shop closes this month, leaving many in the gaming community wondering where they will go now. Daniel Perez has more.
For the past 20 years, residents have been getting their video games, consoles, and gaming accessories from GameStop. After years of service, the stores in the Agania Shopping Center and the Micronesia Mall will be permanently closing. Daryl Jake Dianzin and Baron Josh Trinate, members of the University of Guam Super Smash Bros. Team, shared their reaction to the closure.
I was in disbelief because it's been here for so long. You know, I grew up with GameStop and, you know, I got all my games there. I got my controllers, got a lot of stuff there. And honestly, I was just shook.
The instant thought was, oh no. Well, what's going to happen now? What's going to happen to our community here on Guam? It's really small, and I think GameStop might be our main provider for games and hardware that, for us young people, youngsters, where else can we get it?
Since GameStop announced the closure on their Instagram page, several comments by users hoped it was an April Fool's joke. But after a couple days, the comments turned to sadness and disbelief. UOG Triton Esports manager Ken St. Nicholas said the closure will impact the island's gaming community.
Think about it, they're the only ones who now supply games and consoles and hardware and other peripherals. But then when I found out that it was in fact real, I was kind of heartbroken and sad because it really shows a changing of the times as, you know, I guess maybe players and consumers go away from the traditional tangible box and game to something more easily attainable like purchasing online, right? I do hope that with GameStop departing that someone takes up the mantle and at least provides consoles and peripherals and maybe not a full plethora of games, but at least another way for people who don't have that option to procure those items.
With the physical store shutting down, gamers will now have to resort to buying games online. Although this is a great option, it still leaves some gamers who don't have access to internet or online modes of payment in the dark. Both GameStop locations are expected to close by April 27th. Daniel Perez reporting for KUAM News.
And those are your headlines here on The Link. We'll see you tonight on Primetime.
This news update is brought to you by Pacific Points. Do more, get more.
Here on The Link. We'll see you tonight on Primetime.
This news update is brought to you by Pacific Points. Do more, get more.
Outstanding job by Hannah Devanzo and the KUM News team. Remember, big stories. We got that one about Michael St. Nicholas saying that according to his math workout that fuel producers 63% profit margin. I can't even speak today. The transgender athlete competing, the controversy that has ensued there, and of course GameStop shutting down. We want to know your comments on that. So while you contemplate that, it's time for our HAFA Health segment with our friends at FHP Healthcare. And this week I had the opportunity to sit down with a friend of the program, Dr. Marlene St. Nicholas. She is an expert in optometry, so she is going to tell you how to take care of your peepers and why it's important that you not wear your contacts for longer than you should, because you could have some really disastrous results. Here's that interview.
Half a day and Biba Mes tomorrow. We always celebrate Mes tomorrow on this show, and we have a wonderful physician, as someone who has dedicated her practice, her life to the study and care of the eyes, and a proud island Tamarita, and someone who I know, Dr. Marlene St. Nicholas at FHP Vision Center. Biba Mes tomorrow, and half a day to you and your family and your team.
Yes. Biba, Mr. Morrow. Hi,
Absolutely.
Jason.
Very good to see you again. I remember how much fun we had during our last interview. So we had to bring you back because, like I said, you practice good sound science and good medicine, giving, reliable, proven advice. But then you've also got that, chamarita toughness. It's like, hey, take care of yourself.
Yeah, we always have to have that message. It's like, we're all fun. I like to have fun in my exams, but let's get down to the nitty gritty.
Exactly. And as such, we're going to talk today about a acronym which I have never heard when it comes to the care of the eyes, CLARE, C-L-A-R-E. Would you be so kind as to break that down for me?
Okay, CLARE is, CL is contact lens induced, A-R-E is acute red eyes. So everyone is familiar with red eyes. So this one is a red eye that's comes from the contact lenses. People like to wear contact lenses, but this is the problem that we can get with contact lenses. So we're trying to get the message out there about what this is.
Is this caused, Doc, primarily because of a misapplication? Like they put it in wrong, or they force it, or they don't clean, or use the saline solution enough, or a variety of things?
Actually, the acute red eye is actually due to overwear of the contact lenses.
Okay.
Yeah, and then a lot of patients like to take their chances and sleep in lenses, tend to keep their contact lenses longer than they should. A lot of them do not like to clean them. They just keep wearing it until their eyes turn pink.
And then what medically, and I guess in terms of symptoms, can result and ensue from people wearing contacts longer than they should?
When they wake up with what we call acute, meaning they went to sleep the night before, their eyes were fine, and they wake up in the morning, their eyes are, they're red, they're puffy, they're crying, and it hurts when the lights hit it, and then some of them
crusty,
are like,
maybe they got the morning glory thing, they got the moogle in their eyes.
The thing about the contact lens related is that it's really not crusty. It's mostly painful and lots of crying. And it just happened the night that you wore your contact lenses or overwear them. Now, the solution to that one is just take them off. Don't wear them for a while and see if it gets better. The problem with it is that some patients ignore it, and then it ensues and it gets worse and worse and worse. And by the time they get into my chair, it's not a simple contact lens related issue. It escalated to a more of an infection. So Yeah. So when we talk about, the contact lens related red eye, it means it just happened. And so if you do
So
wake
minor
up,
irritation of the eye.
sometimes it's not so minor,
Yeah.
because some of them, when I question them, so it's always on case history when I find out that it's contact lens induced, meaning you didn't listen when you woke up and your eye was pink. You decided to wear your contact lenses, and it kept on happening. And then finally they woke up and now they can't put the contact lens on. So they come
And even
in
though
to
you're an eye doctor, Doc, this is when you get Dr. St. Nicholas as you pinch the ears and you say, "Toke, see, I told you already."
Well, most of the patients that I've seen, they usually come back when it happens again, and they said, this happened again. She goes, yeah, I know, doc, I know. Can't you just give me my medicine? And I'm, no, wait a minute. No, we need to go a little further than this because it shouldn't be repeated.
Now,
Once
when it
you
comes
had
to,
it-
I'm sorry, please.
yeah, when it's repeated, that's already that's a bad thing.
Now,
I
when it
have to
comes to the treatment, how is it very easy to not differentiate between this condition, Claire, acute red eye from overwearing contact lenses, and say something that we're probably more familiar with, like conjunctivitis or pink eye?
Right. See, that's just it. You don't know. So when they come in, I have to do the case history. The case history tells me, okay, we're dealing with a contact lens issue. But on further investigation, it's like, oh, it's not a simple contact lens issue. It could be an ulcer. It could be an inflammation that's further than that. It could also be viral. It could also be allergic. So, so you don't mess with
any number of things.
Yeah, so you don't mess with pink eyes. So my advice to patients who wear contact lenses is you wake up in the morning, you have a pink eye, don't wear your contact lenses.
Okay, and then
breathe.
And then final question, Doc, because I know when it comes to contacts, I grew up from the generation that the only people that ever wore contacts were people that had prescription contacts, because it helps them see better. And obviously, you're an expert in that. But the kids these days, they wear the colored contacts because, a lot of people wear them purely for aesthetic purposes and everything. Is there any difference in people wearing those longer, or does it matter?
It does not matter. Contact lenses is contact lenses. Think of it as it is foreign. It doesn't go in the eye. It's not natural to the eye. You have to make your eyes get used to the contact lenses. So, not knowing all these things, patients will go get contact lenses or sometimes they get it from a friend who says, oh, I have these colored lenses. They don't have prescription. You want to try them? And I'm like, don't do it. Go talk to your eye doctor. Make sure your eye is healthy enough to wear contact lenses first. And if you do wear them, please, if you have a red eye, take them off. If it recovers, great. You did the first line, first treatments to take them off.
If God wanted you to have blue eyes, he would have given you blue eyes.
Exactly. I look at them and I said, what were you thinking? And then, I've actually seen some really bad eyes where what was supposed to be just acute and could have been taken care of has gone all the way to ulceration. And having an ulcer in the eye, just hearing the word ulcer.
Yeah,
it's not fun. I've seen people lose their eyes to an ulcer.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, because they waited too long to come in, get treatment. And by the time we get the infection under control, it's scarred up. It's a scar.
So again, Doc, this is why we love having you on this segment on Hoffa Health, because you don't mince words, you don't pull punches. So I got to let you go with this statement. So now that we know that you should be changing your contacts and not wear them for exorbitant amounts of time, what is the optimum cycle that people should be wearing their contacts for without overdoing it?
Well, my advice for patients who wear contact lenses is, number one, do not wear your contact lenses at home. If you're going to stay home, please wear your glasses, give your eyes the oxygen time it needs. And if you have a pink eye that doesn't go away, please see an eye doctor, to make sure that it is something that will go away on its own or it does not need treatment.
That's easy enough. And that doctor's orders.
Yeah, and get your annual eye exam. That is that is the number one thing I can ever tell anyone who wears contact lenses is make sure you get an eye exam to make sure that the lens is fitting right and that your eye is healthy enough to continue wearing contact lenses.
All right. Well, Dr. Marlene St. Nicholas at FHB Vision Center, we thank you for your expertise and your time. You know what? We're going to end this segment now, guys, but I'm going to make some time with you, Doc, because I got to get my eyes checked. So I'm going to come see you real soon.
Okay. Okay, Jason.
All right. Thank you very much. Jesus Masi.
Yeah. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Buenos Aires. Hey, let's listen to the tomorrow news. Let's listen to this guy.
Buenos Aires tiget sunto gifinut sa morgan ni KUAM News. Presenta ni Familian Mito gi First Hawaiian Bank. Manugong ni Partidan Republican pada di mensahe ni manaliliko gi medan sosial namasangan mandagi na informasyon pada di resolusyon ni para madiskuti ni legislatura gi dunia session gi Webes. Gi news release si Partidan Republican Guahan sa mga complain pun mensahe siya no kaklaman na resolution Senador Chris Duenas no para humana para public health emergency sa siyempre ni na para en assisti para 15 meet na familia ng 35 meet na famagoon. Ilingan na resolution sa dipulsiya regla siyempre at isan migyan na kwestiyon niya siya gini frontliners na mabababay petan niya para hadsi malago manay abiso para matulay kat palu. Masang lakoy naman disganaw siya ni naplatsa siya na arti ni manasasabi para ni namansanan niya si Duenas numaga si minority gi legislatura dan sandalikaw na hinano gi legislatura no ni naitatay ginefsaga metros manasuay po dari gobyerno gi procurement sa ni man-hire na manera. Umbay talo yun kung ki resolution Duenas sa basketso para ilas des gi egan gi iwebes. Masasunto man maibibisay manggay giba na segundo na cycle para di Homeowners Assistance Fund na programa sa mababa esta. Nuri report kayo medyo na programa sa esta hulog 15 pesos na inazudo para di sa mangkwalifika na manggay giba para apas mortgage utilities para na assistant propiedad. Aplikasyon para este sa sinamatsuli gi niya website di Departamento ng Administrasyon di doa.guam.gov. Aplikasyon para HAF na programa sa man maaksesepta este dia 22 gi Abril. Imanakabalis na aplikasyon sa Deputy Masamiti gipusina ni DOA gi segundo bibenda gi ITC building gi Zatamuning. Mas talo, ang low-income household water assistance na programa sa sinya masodagi sa niya website ng Departamento ng Administrasyon. Yung programa sa nagwahasalapi para di bang kwalifika pero fanay na juda maapasi delinkwente na biohanom para jud siya esta pero fan mauto ta ihanom niya. Umbiyaya este na judo esta hulog gi pesos. Aplikasyon sa maksaseta desti dia 5 gi bit este dia 6 gi modzo. Imanakabalis na aplikasyon sa Deputy Masamiti direktamento gati gi opisina ni DOA gi segundo bibenda gi ITC building gi Zatamuning. Ito muna suntag ifinut sa moro para pago na Martes gini KUAM News. Humilili Komite ng Edukasyon si Senadora Telina Nelson sa paraw nagwa public hearing para dos na legislasyon nung ninay exemption ni eskwelang publiko gi para manakabali si 180 dias sa finanagwi pari-pareho sa 900 na orang finanagwi dyan na dispensa todo estudyante ng eskwelang publiko ni para manakabali sa 75 oras na mandated service learning hours. I-public hearing para este sa masketso para Lunes dia 18 gi Abril si las 10 gi egan sa las 12 gi taloani gi Guam Congress Building gi Hagat niya para ma-livestream loki gi plago ni legislatura gi YouTube. Para Guam News Network, Guam si Ken Conception. Yasunto gi finut sa moro sa presenta sa ninafatto ni Familian Mizo gi First Hawaiian Bank.
Say hello to the First Hawaiian Bank mobile app. Want a better look at your spending? With Money Map, you can automatically create budgets and manage where your money is going. Know when you have a green light or when it's time to slow down. Maybe cook more meals at home this week. Set your goals, track your progress, and find your way to exactly where you want to be. With Money Map from the First Hawaiian Bank mobile app. It all starts with yes.
Taco Bell is so good and so cheap.
I know, right? I wonder why.
What if they know we're broke? What if they're trying to be the good guys?
Yeah. Thanks, Taco Bell!
Mariana's Irrigation and Landscape Superstore. Stop on by and visit our showroom today. We offer everyday low prices on all major outdoor power equipment like bush cutter, chainsaw, power washer, generators, and more. Need service, repair, maintenance? Well, check out Guam's best superstore only at Mariana's Irrigation and Landscape, located in Barragata along Army Drive between Submarina and Besta Market. Call 735-7446 for more information. Now shipping to surrounding islands. Mariana's Irrigation and Landscape Superstore.
New Spicy Lovers Pizza from Pizza Hut. Hurts so good. With its spicy marinara and sliced red chilies. It's like a roundhouse kick to the taste buds. How's it looking? Don't be bashful with the fiery flakes now. I want it to be real spicy.
I haven't started yet.
Okay, I'm ready. The new Spicy Lovers Pizza. Get it while it's hot. You want respect? Red chilies get you respect. Knowing our Pizza's the Hut.
GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information.
The relationship between Guam and Manila, Philippines is undeniable as we share similar cultural traditions, history, and heritage. With generations of Filipinos calling Guam home, KUAM presents a monthly look at the capital city featuring in-depth and engaging interviews on everything from medical tourism to new business and government leaders. Veteran newscaster Nestor Lecanto delivers Beyond Our Borders. This special program is brought to you by KFC and the Medical City, where patients are partners.
Properties in the Tropics is your weekly roundup of the hottest properties on Guam. Every Thursday, get a virtual walkthrough of homes, apartments, townhomes, and land available for lease, rent, or sale with a breakdown of the most important info, including cost, features, and of course, location details. Watch it on KUAM News Hotspot at noon on streaming and TV8 or catch the encore at 5 p.m. on TV11. You can also check out each installment on Instagram too. Properties in the Tropics is presented by RE/MAX Diamond Realty.
Get the job done the right way by getting the right stuff at East West Rental Center. With years of experience helping builders, we definitely got what you need. Call 646-1463 or visit us in Upper Tumon. Open Monday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on Sundays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Join Nestor Lecanto for virtual in-depth discussions with the movers and shakers in our community every Wednesday on In Full Zoom. Presented by IT&D and Calvo Enterprises, Inc.
The KUAM Care Force, in partnership with the UOG Center for Island Sustainability, Guam Green Growth, and UOG Sea Grant, is proud to present a series of Sustainability Matters features all Earth Month long, including Green Leader Profiles on KUAM News Primetime, April 11th through the 15th, with Joe Nuggan-Charfris introducing you to people in our community, leading the way with sustainable businesses and practices. A Think Green Cleanup Showcase on Weekend Edition at the end of April, featuring your events around the island. And Tyler Matanani taking on the Sustainable Lifestyle Challenge, sharing her results every Friday on Hotspot. Plus, follow the KUAM News Instagram and Facebook pages for weekly tips from Guam Green Growth. Sustainability matters all month long on KUAM Communications.
We're living in a new world with new ways of communicating, connecting, and moving through life.
Every day seems to be marked with change, and with all these changes, you need trusted people you can rely on for advice and insights about the things that really matter.
Let Gina and I walk you through everything you need to know about real estate, from buying to selling to renting, and all the details in between.
Join us with Jason Salas every week on House to Home.
House to Home every Tuesday on KUAM News Extra, presented by RE/MAX Diamond Realty.
Subscribe to our KUAM News Digest, our weekly email newsletter with all kinds of information straight to your inbox. Just subscribe and we'll make sure to keep you informed and entertained with news from the KUAM News team, what to watch on NBC and CBS, and the latest promotions from KUAM Communications. Go to KUAM.com, click on the newsletter tab at the top of the homepage, register, and you're all set. Brought to you by Uno Go, Guam On Demand. Watch Mariana's artists, activists, and visionaries and their quest to protect, preserve, and promote our Chamorro culture on the Culture Club, a weekly feature on KUAM News digital platforms and the KUAM News Weekend Edition. Brought to you by Tropical Ice.
We're taking care of business with GTA on KUAM Digital. Tips and advice for your business to get more productive, efficient, and streamlined with pro tips, tools, and other services. We're navigating through the best practices in tech, operations, and beyond every month with the help of our friends at GTA on KUAM Digital. GTA, we start with you.
Fansano da ni KUM Communications mentres ta jujuti da ta reflecte tempo kresma no lisajo no denario. Ito di ni meddi hu faisen ham to maila da fan lisajo ki fenot samor pat feno English kada poingi gala shetti gi senisa dia dos gi matsu estai bet ni santu dia kinsi gi abit. Ekungo gi isla tomorrow streaming radio pas no egga pat hungog masyafan na ora gi mami podcast na network dan niti todo edras median sosial gi KUM. Fan magov sa kahulogwi.
All right, welcome back to The Link, everybody. Tuesday morning here. It is about 7:05, so hafade and buenas to all of you, no matter where you're joining us from. We are talking to gentlemen who are experts now on the topic of power production, power distribution, and power consumption. So who better to talk to and to pass on that information to you to let you know how you can reduce your power bill and be a responsible utility consumer than gentlemen with the Guam Power Authority. We have John Cruz, the Assistant General Manager of Engineering and Technical Services. Good morning, John. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Good morning. It's great to be here, and especially this bright and early in the morning.
Well, also we have Victor Cruz, who Vic, I know that's not a virtual background behind you, but man, that is
Victor
a wonderful painting. Vic is a engineer over at GPA, so your technical expertise on this topic, and obviously your artistic taste are impeccable.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here.
All right. And when I knew my buddy James Borja was coming on the show and everything like that, I knew he's dedicated his life to making people happy and keeping people informed. And as the customer services manager at GPA, James, certainly your voice is very appreciated on this topic of teaching people how to save energy and save their power bill. So it's good to see you, my friend.
All right. Good morning, and thank you for having us.
All right, right on. So guys, what do we need to know in this day? It's 2022. People have all sorts of devices. They're plugged into every single thing. Some people have, centralized air conditioning and split units and everything like that. John, we'll start with you. Like, what is the one thing that people have to know when it comes to consuming power and basically the way people consume power these days?
One of the biggest things is that we have a lot of electronics. We have televisions, we have video players, we have PlayStations and whatnot. And when we take the remote and we click it off, we think they're off, but they're not. There's something called vampire loads. And so those electronics are still consuming anywhere from 30% to 60% of the energy that they do when they're being in use. So having all of those electronics on a power strip and turning off that power strip after you're done with that can actually save you quite a bit of energy.
So we're talking about like unplugging, like what, your microwave, your
unplugging
like
like
that
your television,
also?
your entertainment electronics.
And I'm assuming you call it vampire mode because it continues to like suck the blood probably like out of your
pocketbook.
Yes, out of your pocketbook, out of your bank account. I mean, seriously. And we really feel for everybody because we're customers too. And this run up on oil has really punched the price of electricity and fuel oil up to near decade-long heights. And taking the time to educate people about energy efficiency, about conservation, and about the great rebate program, the Energy Sense rebate program that Guam Power Authority has, right, is something that we feel that we need to do. And thank you very much for giving us this opportunity.
Sure. Well, now, James, as someone who interfaces, with customers directly on a daily basis, but also, behind the scenes talks about, educational campaigns to make people aware of, like rebates and energy efficient appliances and how to best use those and everything. What are some of the topics that tend to bubble up the most when you talk to ratepayers?
Yeah, a big concern for majority of our ratepayers that I speak to is why has my power bill gone up? And granted, the fuel recovery charges have gone up tremendously in the last year. It's all about conservation and turning off those appliances or unplugging those appliances, what John said. But a lot of them would come in and say, hey, my power bill has gone up and I haven't done anything different. what's going on, right? So we can actually review their usage by looking into their meter, checking the meter health, and then we can run an analysis of their usage. And we can basically, a few questions we ask, right? How many ACs you have? How long do you keep it on? Those are things that we look at. Do you have lights that remain on? All those things we take into consideration, and we ask them, many people tend to leave their ACs or down to a very low temperature, like 69 degrees. And for me, I keep mine at 74. I keep it on 24/7. I have a 4-ton central air unit, which is equivalent to 48,000 BTU. And I keep it on 24/7. When I'm home, I lower the thermostat. And when I leave the house, I raise it a few degrees. And that tends to help me with conserving or trying to save on energy. And that's what we try and help our customers with. And some of them have come back and they've been really stressed out about why is my power so high. And I made some suggestions to one of our customers, and he took it, and he came back to me and said, "Wow, the device you gave me, my power bill went down from about 800 to 900 down all the way down to 300-400." And basically, because ACs were being kept on 24/7 in the house in every room, and I said, you might want, when you're not home, you might want to take this into consideration, maybe turn them off or raise the thermostat so that your air AC doesn't work as hard.
Mm-hmm. And are we talking about, James, like the climate control setting where, like if the temperature outside gets to a certain point, then, the aircon kicks in and regulates, the inside temperature? Or are we just talking about the fan is running 24/7?
Yeah, exactly what you said, Jason. So when it's hotter outside, like we've had fire warnings, right? So, when it's hotter outside, the AC is going to work harder to cool the home down, right? So you ever notice, like if you ever turn off your AC in the day when you're gone, and then you come in the evening, your house could be really hot. Excuse me. And when you turn that AC on, it actually works harder to bring that temperature down, right? So if you think about that, for me, I used to do that. What I did is, hey, let me try keeping it on 24 hours a day, but I'll just adjust the thermostat or the temperature setting, and from there, I didn't see a big difference, but it helped the house remained cool, and the fans weren't blowing as hard because the air handling unit was it's a variable speed, right? When it reaches a certain temperature, it actually slows down, and then when it needs to raise that temperature, or decrease the temperature in the home, it actually the fan would kick on higher. And those are certain things that people can look at. And also, I wanted to mention myenergyguam.com. We have a website where you can actually monitor your usage, and you can see the peaks and the lows throughout the day. And that's something you can use to gauge yourself and how much energy you want to use through that month, or where the highs are, where the lows are.
Okay.
What is, and that's a good way to monitor your usage.
Right on.
Is there something else you could do? Because I remember seeing somebody and they were telling me a story how they put something on their roof. They painted it. I can't remember what the material was. Elastomeric, yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while. I mean, it's been like 30 years since I've actually done the engineering testing on this. But I do remember that at 3:00 in the afternoon, going up to a roof and then taking the measurement of the temperature, and it being about 130 degrees, and then going down and measuring, what heat's coming into the ceiling, and then also having a very high temperature. And then after putting the elastomeric coating, I noticed that I measured that we had like a 40-degree drop in the ceiling temperature, and that's a lot of excess heat that is being kept off of your roof, right? And the less heat that you can keep out of your home, the less heat that your air conditioner needs to take and cool down,
sure,
and make comfortable. So we're really big fans of having an elastomeric or silicone coating on your roof.
And that's spoken like a true engineer. And I'd like to bring another one in. So Vic, no one knows probably as well as you, given your responsibilities at GPA, because you monitor, like, and James is talking about, being able to measure and assess the peaks and valleys. When it comes to consumers, either, deliberately using more power than they probably should, or just, people like me that just don't know any better. But, with interviews like this, I'm able to actually be aware of what I'm doing and how I could do it better. How much strain does that kind of consumer activity put on the system, and how does it change with actually running, the core facilities that you maintain?
Okay, well, the more energy that our customers use, the more peaking units. It depends on the time of day, but the more units we need to run to meet that peak demand. So if everyone can reduce the amount that they're using, whether that be by energy conservation or energy efficiency, it puts less strain on our system. We don't need to build more generation capacity, more power plants, and we have to burn less fuel. So it's overall better for us if you use less. It's kind of counterintuitive. You would think that we want you to use as much power as possible so we can charge you, but we really advocate for energy efficiency and energy conservation.
Right.
We talked a lot about the AC, right? But what are some other sorts of tips? Like, there are so many other appliances in your home: refrigerators, your oven,
washing machine.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one that gets me.
Your lighting, LED lights, they work,
Well, when you go through your house, you want to look at the largest energy consumers are the ones that heat or remove heat. So we're looking at your air conditioning units. We're looking at your dryers, your water heaters. Those are your large consumers. The vampire loads typically account for maybe 10 to 20% of your total bill. But we want to look mostly for air conditioning, water heating, and your stove even, if you have an electric stove. Those are our big draws. So as James and John were saying, we can't charge you for power that you don't use. We're the electric utility. So if you can reduce that amount, or by turning your aircon down, or turn your aircon up when it's not in use, turning your water heater off when you're not going to be showering, then that can reduce your energy bill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, also using fans. So
Okay.
you want to go fans cool people. They don't cool rooms, they cool people. They help with the evaporative process of keeping you cool. So if you use a fan, you'll feel a lot more comfortable, and would be able to increase the thermostat setting on your air conditioner.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, John, because do you recommend people buy like the floor fans, the oscillating kind that they can just, move from room to room? And I'm also wondering about because I see more and more people getting ceiling fans now. And so when you've got something on top of a ceiling, basically broadcasting down and drawing heat away, how much does that actually make a difference?
It's quite a bit. I don't remember quite the statistics on it, but it is considerably less power to run a little fan than it is to run an air conditioner, especially a large one like I have in my living room. So
we do have some questions from some of our viewers, if we could get to them. So turning on and off the water heater is okay?
Well, it depends on what type of water heater you have. If you have a large tank water heater, then you would like to just increase or lower the temperature a little bit, not completely turn it off, because when you turn that type of water heater on, it has to heat the entire tank. So lowering it just a little bit before you head out can save a lot of energy. Because how those water heaters work is it gets the whole tank up to a certain degree, up to a certain heat level, and then it maintains that. Once it drops a little bit, it kicks back in. So if you can reduce that the temperature just a little bit, it doesn't have to work as hard.
I did that for a little while, guys. I actually would turn my when I lived in an apartment in Tumon, right? I would turn my water heater on or off during the day when I wasn't there, and then turn it back on. And the only thing you really have to do is there's the technical engineering of switching the machine on and off, but it's also the social engineering of saying, okay, now I've got to wait 10 more minutes while the water heater heats up. So it's a nice trade-off, but it did save me money. I'm proof positive that works.
We have another question. Lights are the biggest decisions to make when purchasing. Is LED lights more power saving?
LED lights, yeah. I'll let Victor talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. LED lights are, for commercial buildings, one of the largest power consumers. you can save so much by switching to LED. Old lights that we're trying to phase out is CFLs or compact fluorescents. Those were the new hotness, but that was 10, 15 years ago, maybe even longer. Right now, LED, the light emitting diodes, are the most efficient things you can put into your building.
Plus, they look cooler. They look like the little pigtails.
Oh yeah, they come in different colors too.
Yeah.
Different color temperatures. So before they used to be super bright, super white. You could tell it's an LED, but right now, with the technology that's evolved, sometimes you can hardly tell the difference.
And plus, yeah, I mean, you can do things too, and this does save money, but it also, for an aesthetic purpose, there's value in that. Is with apps these days, you can actually use like those Philips LEDs, and you can control it off your phone. You can even set it up to some cloud services. So like if you're a Celtics fan and then the Celtics win, your light turns green automatically, and there's so many cool things you can do, and it's going to save you money. That's the most important thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We'd like to talk about our energy efficiency program, our rebate program. I'd like to give Victor some time on that because it's a really big program, and we're launching both we've had a residential energy efficient rebate program for a number of years since 2016, but now we're launching our commercial program and government program. So if Victor could have just a few minutes on that?
Sure.
That'd be great.
All right, awesome. So we've had for the past several years, I believe since 2015, we've had a residential AC rebate program. So GPA would pay cash rebates for your high efficiency air conditioning units. High efficiency is in terms of SEER. What SEER is it's the seasonal energy efficiency ratio. It's a bunch of numbers that says that your AC is efficient. The higher you go, the better your unit and the more energy savings. So we wanted to incentivize our customers to switch from old ACs that are very inefficient, just wasting a lot of energy, to more efficient units. And coming soon, we will be launching the commercial program. So that's going to extend our rebates to commercial customers, and that's who are one of our largest consumer base. So we're hoping that it's a great penetration, actually.
Okay, and then James, how can customers do they have to enroll in these programs, or do they have to set up some sort of application process, and where can they do so?
Yeah, so right now we actually in the process of launching our online portal for the Energy Sense rebate applications. The only way we can receive your rebates at the moment is via mail or by walking the application in, because we do require some original documents for verification. But we are in the works of getting our website up, and I believe our target is towards the end of the month. Hopefully everything goes. And then we would like to invite our customers to apply for the rebates online. And that would ease the process. They'll have a tracking number, and it'll go from customer service to support for their review, and then on to accounting for processing.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Yeah, because and I think Vic, you made a fantastic point. Some people would think it's like, okay, well, you're doing everything I can so I can use more power so that you can guys bill me. It's no. Why we're here today is you guys they're saying there's information to be passed on to let us know how we can spend less money with you guys because it's better for the island.
Yes, it
absolutely.
is.
I'd like to go off what James just mentioned about the online rebate application. One of the coolest things I saw about that, when it was being developed, is there's a tracking system. A lot of customers call in and they ask, hey, it's been a little bit, can I get a status on my rebate application? Mm-hmm. So you don't need to do that anymore. You just log on to our online portal, and if you've ever ordered pizza from Domino's, they have a little pizza tracker that tells you your pizza's in the oven, your pizza's on its way, or it has been delivered. So you have something like that for your rebate application. No need to call in.
You're preaching to the choir here, bro, because ask Sabrina. Like, I sit there and she's like, hey, Jace, what's this thing with this story? It's like, leave me alone. I'm watching my pizza. They're making it. So, yeah. No, so I can totally see myself, like, doing that. And the fact that you have actually made it easier for us, to monitor and to share the information and to actually interpret what that means and, how we can actually bring that down, like Bree said, for the betterment of our pocketbooks and everything like that, is fantastic. So, John, we started with you, and we'd like to give you the final word.
Okay. Energy efficiency is a great tool. The American American Council for an Economic Energy Efficient Economy has said that we can meet about 50% of our greenhouse gas emissions in the United States simply by energy efficiency alone. So it can save you money. I mean, I'm proof positive that years ago I had a high electric bill, and I cut it in half just by changing out my appliances, mainly my air conditioners and my refrigerators and other appliances. So, you know, there's a lot that you can do through conservation and energy efficiency to lower your power bill and get the best bang for your buck in your energy use.
All right, well, boys, well, thank you so much. Victor Torres, engineer over at GPA, James Borja, the customer services manager, and John Cruz, the assistant GM for engineering and technical services. Guys, we wish you, your team, and your families a happy and blessed Easter. And I know it's Holy Week, so we're not supposed to make noise, but everybody watching this, if you try these and you see how low your power bill goes, if you run outside and go, woohoo! I mean, you're not supposed to make noise this week, but I think you know, the church will give you like a little bit of leeway on that one.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Thank you very much. Thank you much.
Have a wonderful day, guys.
Thanks,
Thanks for the info.
Take care.
Yes.
Bye.
That is good stuff.
Yeah.
And it's stuff you can start today and you can realize today. So please, you know, like, again, go back to our YouTube channel, watch this interview again, discuss it with your family, share it with your friends, because these tips work.
You can also go to GuamPowerAuthority.com for more information.
All right. So we are going to take a little bit of a break, guys, but when we come back, we are talking about distracted driving. DPW and GPD are in the Zoom room, and when we come back, we'll tell you about what you need to know when you are on the road. The link on a Tuesday continues after.
Let us know what's up on our KOAM News WhatsApp tip line at 671-727-0094. Share information about what's happening in your town, on Guam or the CNMI, and what you want us to know. Reach us on WhatsApp at 671-727-0094.
It's Feed Me Fridays on The Link. Good eats, good company, and beyond good chow with Team KOAM checking out Guam's most tantalizing, tempting menu items. Every Friday on The Link, listen on Breeze 93.9 FM or stream online. Brought to you by Devondale, real milk from free grazing cows.
Uno Mixed. We're mixing it up on the last Thursday of every month with a look at lifestyle, entertainment, food, and so much more on the stations, networks, and digital platforms of KUAM Communications. Uno Mixed is presented to you by Docomo Pacific, Better Together, and Pepsi. That's what I like.
Catch Sports Link on The Link every Friday for the latest sports news, game schedules, athlete profiles, and more. Sports Link airs every Friday on Breeze 93.9 FM and streaming online across our multimedia platforms. Sports Link is brought to you by Mariana's Irrigation and Landscape and Taco Bell. Live Mas.
Take in the panoramic beauty of our island each Sunday on the KUM News Instagram with Scenic Sundays. Scroll through the natural beauty of the island on display. Scenic Sundays on the KUM News Instagram is brought to you by Addis Trust and Investment, Location, Service, Trust, and Haagen-Dazs Shops Guam, where every day is made extraordinary.
KUAM Communications continues our perpetuation of our Chamorro culture, language, and heritage, with features available to our listening and viewing audience, including streaming of Chamorro music 24 hours per day on Isla Digital Radio on KUAM.com and the KUAM News app. Chamorro News Update, weekdays on The Link and the KUAM News YouTube channel. Conversations about life in our Chamorro language podcast, Cuentos Tapaco, with Kin Conception, seasonal specials, shows, and other features highlighting the beauty of our language, culture, and history. It's a new era of our continued commitment to our Chamorro heritage. Isla, watch, listen, stream. Viva Isla!
Start off your middays with the menu on KUAM News Hotspot, your preview to the big news items. Broadcast on KUAM TV8 weekdays at noon with live stream on our social media platforms, plus an encore at 5 p.m. on KUAM TV11.
The Menu, brought to you by King's Restaurant, always open, always local, and Ruby Tuesday Guam, home of the Fresh Garden Bar.
The KUAM Podcast Network is back and on demand. featuring a great variety of podcasts from our island and region, including culture, lifestyle, awareness, crime, politics, commentary, comedy, and entertainment. Available on most streaming platforms. The KUAM Podcast Network. Subscribe and listen now.
The KUAM Care Force, in partnership with the UOG Center for Island Sustainability, Guam Green Growth, and UOG Sea Grant, is proud to present a series of Sustainability Matters features all Earth Month long, including Green Leader Profiles on KUAM News Primetime, April 11th through the 15th, with Joe Nuggan-Charfris introducing you to people in our community, leading the way with sustainable businesses and practices. A Think Green Cleanup Showcase on Weekend Edition at the end of April, featuring your events around the island. And Tyler Matanani taking on the Sustainable Lifestyle Challenge, sharing her results every Friday on Hotspot. Plus, follow the KUAM News Instagram and Facebook pages for weekly tips from Guam Green Growth. Sustainability matters all month long on KUAM Communications.
Properties in the Tropics is your weekly roundup of the hottest properties on Guam. Every Thursday, get a virtual walkthrough of homes, apartments, townhomes, and land available for lease, rent, or sale, with a breakdown of the most important info, including cost, features, and of course, location details. Watch it on KUAM News Hotspot at noon on streaming and TV8, or catch the encore at 5 p.m. on TV11. You can also check out each installment on Instagram too. Properties in the Tropics is presented by Remax Diamond Realty.
Listen, watch, and learn from the daily Tomorrow News updates from KUAM News. Catch them on the link during the 8 o'clock hour, streaming online on Isla Radio, or on the KUAM News YouTube channel for your convenience. Tune in and stay informed, all while preserving our precious culture through the daily use of our native Chamorro language. Tomorrow News updates are brought to you by your familia at First Hawaiian Bank.
Every day is a brand new day. We should be happy and celebrate. The life we have is just one of a kind. No more trying to waste my time. Now everyone can say I want to go to the beach tonight or tomorrow. Hopefully the weather doesn't change, cause if it rains I got a plan for another day. Yeah, so take off my stories. Ooh, run to the beach. Feel the sand beneath my feet. Seashells floating on the sea. Oh, all the perks of living on an island where sometimes around it is cold, but you already know it's the way we were portrayed. Yeah. Sometimes around it is cold, but you already know it's the way we were portrayed. Yeah. Sometimes I wish there was more to do other than go out and shoot pool or have a barbecue by the beach. But then again, it's more fun with some family. Yeah, if you never heard of this place, you better research on Google today. Book a ticket, get out to experience what I'm talking about. and we can take off our stories. Ooh, run to the beach, feel the sand beneath our feet, seashells floating on the sea. Oh, all the perks of living on an island. But sometimes the world is cold, but you already know it's the way we were portrayed. Sometimes the world is cold, but you already know it's the way we were portrayed. Cause we do it big, cause we do it big. Party think you're big, party think you're big. Cause we do it big, cause we do it big on the island of Guam. Cause we do it big, cause we do it big. Party think you're big, party think you're big. Cause we do it big, cause we do it big on the island of Guam. Island of Guam. Cause we do it big, cause we do it big. Cause we do it big, yeah. On the island of Guam.
The Link, here on Breeze 93.9 FM.
Every choice that we make, every bridge that we break, every breath that we take, every morning we will. No, it's not to be taken so lightly. So get up on your feet, my friend, and skank to this reggae rhythm. Get up on your feet, my friend. Hold your head high and tell yourself that you're getting on your feet, my friend. Then he stood up on his feet. Ooh. Get up on your feet, my friend, and hold your head high. Tonight we'll listen to our roots reggae lullaby. Tonight we'll listen to our roots reggae lullaby. Could you be dreaming again? You say you're stuck in a hole, questioning your breathing. They'll ask who's to blame, as if it were possible to rewire your brain. They'll ask who's to blame. Well, every choice that we make, every bridge that we break, every breath that we take, every moment.
Welcome back, everybody. Tuesday morning episode of The Link. Jason Salas, Sabrina Salas, Matanani, Uncle Ken on the board, Joser on the iPad, and you all over the world joining us where we talk about things that are making Guam wonderful. Some people in the Zoom room right now talking about exactly that topic. However, we got a update from Roy Kinata, who puts on Facebook, roads are wet, and they most definitely are. So please, 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 everybody, be safe when you're making your way around Guam on the various thoroughfares right now. And Bree, this kind of is apropos because we're talking this morning about a very important topic, and one that probably people don't know how broad it is: distracted driving.
Right. April is actually National Distracted Driving Awareness Month. And joining us now In the Zoom room, we have DPW Director Vince Areola. We also have Sil Javier from the Office of Highway Safety. And we have Alex Blanquisco with the Guam Police Department's Highway Division. And I think joining us a little bit later is the Insurance Association of Guam, heads up Guam Group, Monique Basinger.
And how dare you forget to mention your auntie as well.
Yeah, Auntie Therese, I'm sorry. Therese Matanani.
Therese Matanani is joining us too.
I'm done. I'm going home.
I'll see you on the road, Sabrina.
Well, no,
Auntie, lick my ears. How dare you?
Therese, that is a perfect way to actually open this interview, because seeing people on the road and actually paying attention to the road is the point.
Okay. I'll make sure she's not on her phone.
Okay, and also joining us, as Bree was saying, our good friend Monique Basinger from the Insurance Association of Guam. Good morning, Mo. I know you're. Let me nudge Mo if she can get her camera. I have not seen Mo in a very, very long time. We work together on several projects, so it's good to have her here for her perspective as well. So guys, maybe Therese, if you can maybe just take point on this and everything like that. What, by definition, is distracted driving?
Okay. I'm sorry. Distracted driving is when you're motorists using their, motorists driving along Marine Corps Drive, and they start using their phone, and just a few seconds off that roadway, you can accidentally or crash into another vehicle in front of you, or even hit a pedestrian of some sort or another. So distraction is it's a very important law for Guam, because once you're distracted, you're harming the other motorists on the roadways. So pay attention. You drive, you text, you will pay.
Okay, and from a legal standpoint, Officer Blanquisco, what are the penalties that somebody that, either because of, they lost focus for a moment, or if you and your colleagues at GPD actually see someone and cite them for distracted driving, what do offenders face?
Right, so it'll be $100 plus court fees, and really my friends over at the Traffic Violations Bureau tell me, don't give them the amount, because once they get there and they only bring the amount that we told them, then they start complaining that, the officer told me it should be this amount. But as per the law, it's a $100 fine plus court fees. Mm-hmm. And then for every subsequent violation, it increases by percentage. Mm-hmm. So it's best to contact Traffic Violations Bureau and inquire from them how much a fine will be, because it's also based on your traffic history.
Are we seeing a lot of distracted driving cases here on Guam?
Oh, yes, we are. Mm-hmm. And actually, nationwide, it accounts for 25% of all traffic crashes. 25 to 50%, right.
And I'm sure no one on Zoom in our discussion this morning feels more strongly about this than Director Vince Areola over at DPW, because, Vince, you and your team have done so much to improve Guam's roads and make them modern and everything. You didn't basically fix our highway system so that people can be making TikToks while they're driving.
That's correct, James. Yeah. First off, let me thank you folks at KUAM for having us on your show and helping us to promote this this project that we're on. Also, thank you very much to our staff at Office of Highway Safety, the Insurance Institute here in Guam, and of course GPD. But I've said it from the moment I got on board at DPW. Our job is to one of our biggest jobs is to pave roads and make sure that we have nice, safe, smooth roads. But with smooth roads comes speed. And distracted driving and all kinds of other things. But these folks, I think our drivers, our Guam drivers all over, they just need to take responsibility when they get behind the wheel. They are operating a machine that weighs anywhere from 3,000 to 4,000, 5,000 pounds. They're going at 30 miles an hour, 35, 40, 45 miles an hour. And that's a big issue. And they're not just driving by themselves. They're driving along with hundreds and thousands of other drivers. So they have to be aware of not just themselves, but the other drivers around them, like Therese was mentioning. And so, our message to them is take responsibility when you get behind the wheel, whether it's distracted driving or impaired driving or driving under the influence. You can't do that. You got to pay attention, and because there are consequences if you don't pay attention. I think a lot of folks, they like to put the blame on everybody or everything else when they get into an accident. Oh, the road wasn't good, or there was this other driver, or there's something wrong with my car. No, you are behind the wheel. It's all on you. It's not on anybody else. And so these folks need to take responsibility and just be more attentive and more careful when they drive, especially depending on the environment, like what we're having right now. There's a lot of rain. The roads are slippery, and we'll try our best to give you the best roads that we can. We are doing some major construction right now, and we're using a new type of anti-skid paving, and that's going to really help out a lot. But to me, 90% of it is on the driver. If everybody pays attention and stays on the road where they're supposed to be, at the right and the correct speed, our traffic accidents will go down tremendously.
Now, Vince and maybe Sil, I'd like your feedback on this, because in addition to infrastructure, I would assume that the educational campaign and making sure that the young generation is aware that these aren't things that you do when you are behind a moving motor vehicle and everything. So like when it comes to driver's education, or like even pamphlets or online resources to let kids know that when you're learning how to drive and when you ultimately take responsibility for a car, you have to basically maintain focus at 100% of the time. And that, Vince, I would say, is part of the infrastructure of the roadway. So what are you guys doing to make sure that the young people know about that?
Yeah, I'll let Sil talk about that, because she's that's the primary purpose of her office.
Okay, so Jason, what we usually do is we target the high schools and middle schools, only because this is where the new novice drivers come in place. So we go out there and we schedule presentations with, we co-partner with Highway Patrol, and we talk to the students. We give them out brochures on Guam's traffic laws and let them know about the consequences out there once you get behind the wheel. So these are the students and also middle school students that we focus on. And so right now we've been going out to the schools with a pedal cart, and we use the goggles and the goggles is for alcohol impaired or marijuana. And we let them drive that pedal cart, and we let them experience what it's like to be behind the wheel while they're impaired through alcohol or marijuana. It's been an effective one.
What are some of the activities you guys have planned?
Well, I know we're gonna do a lot of social media. We're gonna blitz out messages about distracted driving on Facebook and Instagram, because that's where we know where all the young ones go to, and they'll see the messages that we have, so that we want to educate them about it and the dangers of distracted driving. And this is also in joint with the Insurance Association of Guam, with their theme of heads up, put your phone down, and with Highway Patrol. So we've already know Highway Patrol is also going out there doing their enforcement, keying in on distracted drivers. Correct, Sergeant Alex?
Yes, ma'am. And the last distracted driving campaign that we had Officer Marvin Desamito actually posted by ITC building, and that went viral on social media, along with Officer Morgan Wages, and people were saying, okay, we're observing the police officers at ITC building. They think they're only focusing on seatbelts, but we're also looking at the distracted drivers who are using their phones and have their electronic communicating devices in their hand. That's all that you need to do to violate the law, okay? You don't need to be actually texting. As long as you have the electronic communication device in your hand, that satisfies the law.
Mm-hmm. And Sergeant, well, if I may, I remember talking to your colleague, Sergeant Paul Tapau, years ago, and he was actually saying that distracted driving, because we talk about, how broad this definition is. He was actually saying that, you know, if you're, you know, while your vehicle is moving, when you're going down the road, if you're looking and trying to like tune the radio or you're trying to figure out what Spotify playlist to play with, that is distracted driving too. So it's, I mean, it's not specifically like about the phone, but there are other ways that if you're not 100% focused on operating your vehicle, your hands are on 10 and 2, you're still in violation of that. Is that correct?
Right, that's correct. Because actually the definition would be any activity that you do that takes the attention away from your driving skills. So it could be mental, it could be visual when you take your eyes away from the road, it could be auditory when you have earphones on, or it could be physical when you're reaching for something on the floorboard of the vehicle or in the center console. That distracts you from the giving your driving task full attention.
So even if you're like talking on the phone, FaceTime, and you have your phone on one of those consoles,
the
same
mouse
thing.
or-
Yeah, same thing.
Correct. So anything that takes your attention away from your driving task is distracted driving.
Yeah, I'm not a law enforcement officer, so like I don't have any, you know, expertise in this, but I'm just saying if you're going down the road, say like at drive time at like, you know, like maybe 2:30, say like the schools are getting out and you're going down Marine Corps Drive and you're leaning over reaching into your glove compartment to get something, you're crazy.
Yeah.
Right. Because actually if you're driving 35 miles per hour, if you really look at it, you're traveling, your velocity or your speed is actually 51 feet per second. So let's say you use your phone for 3 seconds to look at that text. You're taking your eyes away from the road 150 feet. Okay, so it's like closing your eyes and hoping that I'm not going to hit anything. But traffic condition changes constantly. So you constantly have to be aware of your driving. You need to be constantly aware of the vehicles in front of you or if there's any pedestrians who are going to cross the street. So it's very crucial that you pay 100% attention to your driving task.
Do you have? I know you mentioned that, you know, distracted driving is an issue here on Guam, and Sil, you mentioned how we're going out to the schools. The statistics on distracted driving on Guam, does it scale younger drivers or are we talking about older drivers?
Right. So I guess you guys know about the millennials are into the electronics. So data is showing that it's mostly involving our younger generations. They're being involved in crashes while being distracted. And I also want to add on that with the fines, there's a website under Guam Superior Court Traffic Violations Bureau where you can view the fines and get an accurate amount. Because the fines increases as the more offenses that you commit. For the second offense, it'll be $500 plus court fines or court fees. And then on the third violation, it goes as high up to $1,000 plus court fees. So it's really going to hurt you if you're constantly being caught utilizing your electronic communication device while you're operating a vehicle.
And maybe if we can maybe use an analogy, I'd like to go back to Vince because, you know, Vince, I think you very effectively said that, you know, there are hundreds of thousands or, you know, 100,000 other Guamanian motorists all acting, you know, in unison trying to make this work. For the young people out there, you know about Snapchat, you know about Instagram and the network effects. You're part of a network when you're on the road, and that network has to operate in a synchronized way. And if you're doing something crazy and everything, you cause that to break down.
Right. And I think, you know, we were all young once, right? And you know, when we're in our, when we're teenagers, when we're in our 20s, you know, even our 30s, you know, we think we're invincible. You know, we can jump off a one-story house and not get hurt. We can ride our motorcycles. We can do this. We can do that, and we can never get hurt. And so it's probably the same thing that follows through as Alex was mentioning. And so, you know, when they're in a car, you know, and they're driving, oh yeah, I can send this text because I'm young, I'm good, I'm coordinated, I'm fast, I I can take the risk. That's really it. I can take this risk, and not knowing what that risk really can hold up to. As Alex was mentioning, in 3 seconds, you're going to going at 30, 35 miles an hour, you're going to travel 150 feet. That's a long way. And if a car stops in front of you in 3 seconds, you're going to hit them. And so, it's all about risk. And I think that's where the insurance industry comes in, because that's their entire business. It's all about risk. And so, I think if the numbers are showing that distracted driving violators are more in the lower age spectrum, then, we need to take a look at that and remind them that, you might think you can do this because you're young, you're fast, you're, your reflexes are right on spot, you're an athlete, I don't know, maybe you're a jock, so on and so forth. You need to check that at the door and leave that once you get inside the car. Take your ego away and think about yourself, think about your family, think about the others on the road. Because if you really look at accidents don't just happen because the road, I don't know, maybe just tilted and took your car and put it in the other lane, or the accident didn't happen because your brakes failed or whatever. It happened because you're driving and you weren't driving and you weren't paying attention. So, we need to be really cognizant and really aware of situations like that.
Yes, sir. Practicing Nafamalik on the road, everybody. Take care of one another.
Yeah.
The last thing to
Is Mo in the Zoom room?
Oops, is that okay? Mo,
do you want to give Mo an opportunity?
Yeah, if you Mo, if you wish. Monique Basinger, of course, like an expert on the topic of insurance. Director Ariola was just mentioning that. Mo, would you like to jump in?
Well, I can't really add much. I can only tell you the history of the campaign. I'm actually not even on the committee this year, but I was the original campaign chair, so that's why they asked me to speak this morning.
Sure.
So honestly, we started this and we DPW was already working, and we came alongside them because we were seeing numbers increase, just in general, numbers of accidents, simple things, fender benders to more severe accidents. And while people weren't necessarily getting ticketed, as you're interviewing individuals involved, you're finding that a phone's involved in some way, right? So we knew we needed to do something to educate the community and come alongside DPW with their efforts. And we started the Heads Up Distractions Won't Get You There campaign. And so far COVID, of course, took the cells out of everything for everyone, but we were making some real progress in social media. And again, we're focused, like DPW, on a younger demographic. We're trying to get them when they're just starting to drive, because if they get good habits in the beginning, then they won't be the 30-year-olds. We're focusing on that, and we're focusing on professionals, because we also find that professionals tend to check their messages while driving.
Absolutely.
So that's, yeah.
Well, if I can just add to this, we have one of our viewers on Facebook, Maggie Monroe Anderson, who just actually bought an electric vehicle. Of course, we all know that is the future, and she actually sent me a screenshot, guys. I'll show this to our Zoom room participants and then show it to you guys. She says with the new EVs, it actually measures your attention level. So this is data that's going to be recorded and probably sent to the police department, to your insurer, to basically say, like, if you try and be slick and just say, oh no, I was paying attention, well, your car says otherwise. so you need to watch your car, because your car is watching you too. And that's a wonderful piece of technology to have to make sure that you stay on point.
Well, all right, thanks, Auntie Therese, Sil, Vince, Alex, Mo. Any final comments to close out this interview?
Well,
right, so go ahead, Michelle.
Okay, first of all, from our office and on this distracted driving campaign, we really want to just let everyone know out there on the road, as it has been repeated, that please pull over. If you need to use your phone, put your phone down. If you don't need to, put it on Do Not Disturb, and focus your eyes on the road, because for every wrongdoing you do, It may not be you, but it could be somebody else's lives you take due to unnecessary eye movement on the road because you want to look at your phone or what.
Alex?
Go ahead,
Right.
Alex.
So I just want to add on to that, pulling over or mitigating the risk, right? You can, first thing you can do is you can lock your electronic device in the center console, right? So you won't touch it at all during your trip. Or you can pull over. It has to be on the shoulder of the road, on the side of the road. Pulling over on the median, okay, is still a no-go. You will get a citation, okay? It has to be off the road, off the highway completely, or pull on the shoulder of the roadway, okay? Yeah. And one thing that our motorists need to keep in mind is as your attention level decreases, your risk increases, okay? So put that phone down, keep your head up, and get a big picture of the roadway, and constantly remind yourself, I gotta focus on the road, I gotta focus on the road.
I like that. That was very, very good marketing there, Officer Alex. Phone down, head up. And Vince, final word is yours, please.
Okay, again, thank you very much to you folks at KUAM. Really appreciate this opportunity to help spread the word and promote our project of distracted driving. And again, as I mentioned earlier, it's really just a matter of paying attention and knowing exactly what you're what basically you're doing when you're driving. Like I said, you're taking this 3,000, 4,000 pound machine down the road with hundreds and thousands of other people. So be aware of that and respect others, respect yourself, and pay attention while you're driving. I think the more that people pay attention to their driving and just drive on the road, drive safely, I think we're going to see accidents really drop. And so that'll be good for everybody. And thank you again for GPD for being out there and enforcing the traffic laws here on Guam.
All right, thanks everyone. Have a wonderful and safe day. Roads wet today. We wish all of you a very happy and blessed Easter, and please stay safe. Thanks for the info.
Yeah.
You too.
Thank you all. Happy Easter.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, interesting comment on that. Josler was even asking, and he was whispering to me, and he goes, if we see someone that is distracted when they're operating a motor vehicle, is there anything that we can do as part of, like Vince said, as part of like that network? Should we beep at them? Should we honk? And it's weird because by seeing someone distracted, you then yourself are distracted. What's not to say that somebody else on the other lane is going to be distracted watching you distracted, and then it's that network effect, and now you have like total chaos on the roadway. So just like Officer Alex said, phone down, head up.
Right.
And
we do have something from Guam Homeland Security. National Weather Service advised heavy showers and gusty winds are expected, arriving first to southern Guam and southwestern Guam and likely moving up the island. Strong gusty winds are expected upon approach. Expect a torrential gusty downpour. The community is advised to use caution, again, when driving, especially if operating a high-profile vehicle. These are your SUVs, your trucks or trailers. So yeah, while you're out there on the road, please drive carefully. Don't be distracted. Put down your phone.
And as part of that, a member of the Link family, Dr. Peter Lombard, was out on the road and said there's an accident southbound in front of McDonald's in Tamuning. This happened maybe about 20 minutes ago, he said. So there is an accident there. We're going to put somebody on that and see what the traffic situation is, and most importantly, like if anybody is affected by that, we hope not. So we are going to take a break, and we are going to talk to our friends from Victims Advocates Reaching Out, see the future of the organization and the leadership. So we'll be back right after this on the Link.
GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information. The relationship between Guam and Manila, Philippines is undeniable as we share similar cultural traditions, history, and heritage, with generations of Filipinos calling Guam home. KUAM presents a monthly look at the capital city featuring in-depth and engaging interviews on everything from medical tourism to new business and government leaders. Veteran newscaster Nestor Lecanto delivers Beyond Our Borders. This special program is brought to you by KFC and the Medical City, where patients are partners.
Properties in the Tropics is your weekly roundup of the hottest properties on Guam. Every Thursday, get a virtual walkthrough of homes, apartments, townhomes, and land available for lease, rent, or sale with a breakdown of the most important info, including cost, features, and of course, location details. Watch it on KUAM News Hotspot at noon on streaming and TV8 or catch the encore at 5 p.m. on TV11. You can also check out each installment on Instagram too. Properties in the Tropics is presented by RE/MAX Diamond Realty.
New Spicy Lovers Pizza from Pizza Hut. Hurts so good. With its spicy marinara and sliced red chilies. It's like a roundhouse kick to the taste buds. How's it looking? Don't be bashful with the fiery flakes now. I want it to be real spicy.
I haven't started yet.
Okay, I'm ready. The new Spicy Lovers Pizza. Get it while it's hot. You want respect? Red chilies get you respect. No one outpieces the Hut.
Mariana's Irrigation and Landscape Superstore. Stop on by and visit our showroom today. We offer everyday low prices on all major outdoor power equipment like bush cutters, chainsaw, power washer, generators, and more. Need service, repair, maintenance? Well, check out Guam's best superstore only at Mariana's Irrigation and Landscape, located in Barragata along Army Drive between Submarina and Besta Market. Call 735-7446 for more information. Now shipping to surrounding islands. Mariana's Irrigation and Landscape Superstore.
Get the job done the right way by getting the right stuff at East West Rental Center. With years of experience helping builders, we definitely got what you need. Call 646-1463 or visit us in Upper Tumon. Open Monday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on Sundays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
The KUAM Care Force, in partnership with the UOG Center for Island Sustainability, Guam Green Growth, and UOG Sea Grant, is proud to present a series of Sustainability Matters features all Earth Month long, including Green Leader Profiles on KUAM News Primetime, April 11th through the 15th, with Joe Nuggan-Charfris introducing you to people in our community, leading the way with sustainable businesses and practices. A Think Green Cleanup Showcase on Weekend Edition at the end of April, featuring your events around the island. And Tyler Matanani taking on the Sustainable Lifestyle Challenge, sharing her results every Friday on Hotspot. Plus, follow the KUAM News Instagram and Facebook pages for weekly tips from Guam Green Growth. Sustainability matters all month long on KUAM Communications.
We're living in a new world with new ways of communicating, connecting, and moving through life.
Every day seems to be marked with change, and with all these changes, you need trusted people you can rely on for advice and insights about the things that really matter.
Let Gina and I walk you through everything you need to know about real estate, from buying to selling to renting, and all the details in between.
Join us with Jason Solis every week on House to Home.
House to Home every Tuesday on KUAM News Extra, presented by RE/MAX Diamond Realty.
Watch Mariana's artists, activists, and visionaries and their quest to protect, preserve, and promote our Chamorro culture on the Culture Club, a weekly feature on KUAM News digital platforms and the KUAM News Weekend Edition, brought to you by Tropicool Ice. Subscribe to our KUAM News Digest, our weekly email newsletter with all kinds of information straight to your inbox. Just subscribe and we'll make sure to keep you informed and entertained with news from the KUAM News team, what to watch on NBC and CBS, and the latest promotions from KUAM Communications. Go to KUAM.com, click on the newsletter tab at the top of the homepage, register, and you're all set. Brought to you by Uno Go, Guam On Demand.
Start off your middays with the menu on KUAM News Hotspot, your preview to the big news items. Broadcast on KUAM TV8 weekdays at noon, with live stream on our social media platforms, plus an encore at 5 p.m. on KUAM TV11.
The Menu, brought to you by King's Restaurant, always open, always local, and Ruby Tuesday Guam, home of the fresh Garden Bar.
Episode of The Link here on Tuesday, April the 12th, on a really good day here on the beautiful island of Guam. Really good people with really good topics. It's Holy Week, so we'll be telling you about how we can celebrate leading up until Easter, and we head into our next interview with some friends of ours, people who Sabrina and I know we have not seen in person for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
However, Sabrina said she did see John Mendiola from Victims Advocates reaching out a couple weeks ago, so that's always good.
Yeah, we saw him at at Manelu and Sanctuary, mentorship day down in Huggett. So
Very,
that was
very
nice.
cool. And I've had the pleasure of not only being a student of Karen Carpenter's health and nutrition class way back at UOG, but also interviewing her on the KUAM couch back in the days when we would do KUAM News Extra many, many times. So Karen, it's always a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
All right. And Victims Advocates reaching out, the new president-elect is former Senator Louise Bora, and she joins us now. And last time I saw Louise, of course, she is a phenomenal musician and a singer. She's got this amazing voice. Way better than mine. Louise, you were actually singing the national anthem and the Guam hymn at the FIVB friendly match that Team Guam had against Team New Zealand. So that's the last time I saw you in person.
Yeah, that was an amazing event, very memorable one for that matter. And they gave me the honor of singing the Guam anthem.
Absolutely. Well, you've had many honors over the course of your distinguished career, and maybe none more so important than this, because now you are leading the organization that gives a voice to members of victims and everything, and certainly that is a topic that each and every one of us as Guamanians completely stand behind. So first of all, we would like to give you, Madam President-elect, the honor of saying, what does this mean to you, and what plans have you for the future?
Thank you. Well, so much. I owe a lot to the membership. Of course, we are pretty strong with our volunteerism. For giving me the honor, and actually, I'm succeeding Dr. Judy Wonkat. She was our former president. And so I do have big shoes to fill, and I do have a lot to learn. And with people like Karen Carpenter and John in the, as a team, we're really going to move forward with this organization. And of course, we've got new board members too as well, not just myself, but our vice president is Trina San Augustine. I'm sure you're familiar with her.
Mm-hmm.
We have Lou Hongi as our secretary, our treasurers Odie Jaime, and fundraising chair Brianna Duenas. Our public information officer now is Dr. Judy Wonkat, so she definitely will still be around the organization. My mom is actually the volunteer support chair, and Barbara Tayama. So this is our new board. And anytime we have a new changeover of board members, of course, we look forward to a future with some new events too, and that's one of the things that the new board members are planning.
Mm-hmm. Well, a very humbling position to be in, for certain. But you've done a lot with leadership, and I'm certain that the board and all of the members are very, very happy to have you along. Leading them.
Well, it is a very serious topic, and of course now, because the month of April is Sexual Assault and Domestic Violence Awareness Month, it was very appropriate that we come on board in this new term and think about how we're going to benefit the community and keep the community safe throughout the rest of our term.
Karen, you've been with Vero for a long time, and as the senator mentioned, the president-elect mentioned, it is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. But I got to tell you, every day that I read these magistrates' complaints and you hear about the reports from the Guam Police Department, it is so extremely heartbreaking to read these reports, and I can't imagine the stories that you hear as the executive director and the work that you do to provide assistance to these victims. And so how is Vero, what are you guys planning on doing to continue to provide assistance to them? And what are we not doing right?
Well, this question was for Karen.
Yeah.
Or you.
Okay. I'm having trouble hearing her. I'm sorry. Can somebody repeat the question for me?
Okay. Well, she was basically saying, Karen, with victims, the month being dedicated towards the awareness of victims and what we have to do as a community, and being such a tenured member of the organization as you are, what more needs to be done, and what is being done to get the word out?
Yeah. Unfortunately, we'd like to work ourselves out of a job, but we haven't yet. With COVID, and I know everybody, now is, yay, numbers are down, but during COVID, we've had increased cases.
Yeah.
People had to be isolated, and even when they weren't isolated, more people were at home a lot, and when there's abuse in the home, then that makes it worse. And so we've had increased cases. We've spent more money on shelter and than we have in the past. So it's been a rough time, to be honest. Certainly for members of the island, for abuse victims, and so we're looking forward to again, raising awareness. Of course, every time we raise awareness, then there's more reports, and that's a good thing. We want people to report it so that we can deal with it. But it does mean more work for the nonprofits too, than that assist these victims. And of course, the ideal would be to teach people to respect each other and to not abuse each other. That's always the goal. But in the meantime, our goal is to help the victims in any way that we can.
Yeah, and John, certainly this job you have, I mean, it's not a job, it's a calling, truly, for those of you that that take up this responsibility, and it's certainly not one that you can just say it's a 9 to 5, and then and I mean these things are these are stories, these are experiences, these are concerns that you take home with you and everything. So what kind of person characteristically makes up someone who gets involved like with Vero and wants to get in the fight and wants to do the right thing to help?
Since I've been with Vero, I tell you, there a lot of times you need the grit. You need the grit. You need to be able to just hold yourself, hold your composure, because many times these individuals, they either want a listening ear, or they're really, really, truly reaching out with arms that are looking for help. And I tell you, I've cried after a call many a times, and because it's heartbreaking. You listen to the stories, and I mean the passion that you have to have, the compassion, the empathy, the apathy that you have to have is tremendous. I liken to 911 callers. With 911 callers, they go through these traumatic calls as well. And, I've had the opportunity to talk to a couple of the 911 callers, and, we share stories. And man, I tell you, it's just something, you have to have the heart. I mean, the heart is the most important thing in life, because love is the most important thing in life, right? And if you don't have that, then I don't know what to say to anybody, but I would encourage, if you are a person that is willing to help somebody just cope with something at that moment, by all means, let us know. We will get you on as a volunteer. We will listen to your ideas, just your point of view, so that we can make our organization better.
Mm-hmm. Senator, I wanted to ask you, because you've been involved with a lot of different organizations, nonprofit organizations, Make-A-Wish. I've known you for being a leader in that organization, the Guam Comprehensive Cancer Coalition, GAIN. Yep. But why Vero for you?
Well, I had the opportunity to serve as vice president at the request of some of the board members, and I felt like it was like you said, it's a calling. There's no, I don't think there was any reason for me to say no. So I kind of sat in that position and just learning, especially like from John and Karen, who have had the Vero hotline for many years, just to take that phone call. I went to a workshop just recently for Vero, for our victims, and it really was very scary. I felt nervous listening to some of the stories that they had to go through. I really think there is a need, and I wanted to expand my, at least my service to the people and help Vero through this like Karen said, this difficult time where there's more domestic violence going on. I think it's because people are home more often. They're not, they weren't going out to work. They weren't going out to school. There was more opportunities for families to, I guess, be a little bit, to stay together, just kind of made them understand or the frustrations that we're going through with COVID. Yeah, I do have a lot on my plate, but this is a very important mission of mine. And I think, like they said, it's a calling.
And of course, Vero is one of a number of resources and organizations that people that are in need can reach out to. And I know I volunteered, and I know like Sabrina and I have helped out with the holiday hotline in years past. And we've said, I'm not a trained therapist, obviously, but they said, if you get a call, you can direct that to a number of resources. And Vero was always one of the top ones on the list given a certain situation. So how do you see yourself as part of that network of different organizations that are there when people need them, when they're at their most vulnerable?
For me, I think it's the opportunity to serve the people, and your mindset just goes into safe haven mode. You get a call. The first thing you do is you just ask the person, are they in a safe place, or can they get to a safe place so we can bring them to wherever they need to go. Karen could probably answer that a lot better about what happens when you get that phone call and what you automatically do right away.
Yeah, well, as she said, the big thing first is, are you safe? And are you safe to talk to us? In other words, is the abuser not there so that you can talk to us? And then if they are, the big thing for us is all of our services are client driven. So it's up to the client. We don't tell the client what they need. They tell us what they need. And so we ask them, we tell them what our services are. We ask them what services they would like to have or what they need. And then if there are services they need that we don't offer, then that's when we refer out to other organizations. We have a number of organizations we work with in the community. We all refer back and forth. That's the nice thing about our community. We're very open to assisting each other. No one organization can offer all of the needs that people have, can satisfy. So we really do, if we want to meet the needs of the victims and survivors, we need to be able to work together. And sure. I think we do it very well. We're not turned down when we make a call. Victims get and the survivors get the assistance they need. So that, I think, and I do just, if I can, put out our hotline number. It's 477-5552. And it is manned 24/7. So people can call at any time of the day or night. And we do get calls, in the middle of the night. We can put people in shelter in the middle of the night if we need to. We can, assist as much as possible. So it really does, the services depend on what the victim needs and what the survivor needs. And it's up to them. And if they don't want the services, that's fine. Their choices may not be what I would choose, but it's not my life. They're the ones that know their lives. They're the ones that know what they need.
All right, guys. Well, very, very well said. And, Vero is as strong and as essential to our island community as it is because it's got a good team and, of course, strong leadership. And I think that's a testament to all three of you and your team. So thank you very much for giving us some of your time. I realize with the criticality of your responsibilities, there's not a lot of it, but, we do appreciate and we stand ready to help you in any way that we can as well.
Thank you so much, and also as the incoming president, we do have a few events lined up this coming year to hopefully get everyone's support, the community support, and then bring awareness to our victims as well. We are celebrating our 40th anniversary as Vero this year, so it is a milestone for Vero this year.
Well, you guys know you have an open invitation here at KUM. Whenever we hear Vero's on the line or Vero sent us a DM, it's like, all right, they're in.
I know. Make room.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, take care.
Happy Easter
to all of you. And keep us posted.
Happy Easter.
All right. We're going to have more on the link.
And the hotlines also, we put that up on screen. So once again, if you are in need for anything, please give Vero a call. No call is out of range, out of scope. That number again, 671-477-5552 to get to Victims Advocates reaching out.
We got one extra 5, so that's right. Yeah, one extra two, but it's a 477-5552.
Yeah. All right, so we'll be back with more. We are going to talk to our friends at the Society for Human Resources Managers about diversity, equality, and inclusivity in the workplace. That is coming up after the break.
Let us know what's up on our KOM News WhatsApp tip line at 671-727-0094. Share information about what's happening in your town, on Guam or the CNMI, and what you want us to know. Reach us on WhatsApp at 671-727-0094.
It's Feed Me Fridays on The Link. Good eats, good company, and beyond good chow with Team KOAM checking out Guam's most tantalizing, tempting menu items. Every Friday on The Link, listen on Breeze 93.9 FM or stream online. Brought to you by Devondale, real milk from free grazing cows. Catch Sports Link on The Link every Friday for the latest sports news, game schedules, athlete profiles, and more. Sports Link airs every Friday on Breeze 93.9 FM and streaming online across our multimedia platforms. Sports Link is brought to you by Mariana's Irrigation and Landscape and Taco Bell. Live Mas.
The relationship between Guam and Manila, Philippines is undeniable as we share similar cultural traditions, history, and heritage, with generations of Filipinos calling Guam home. KUAM presents a monthly look at the capital city featuring in-depth and engaging interviews on everything from medical tourism to new business and government leaders. Veteran newscaster Nestor Lecanto delivers Beyond Our Borders. This special program is brought to you by KFC and the Medical City, where patients are partners.
Start off your middays with the menu on KUAM News Hotspot, your preview to the big news items. Broadcast on KUAM TV8 weekdays at noon with live stream on our social media platforms, plus an encore at 5 p.m. on KUAM TV11.
The Menu, brought to you by King's Restaurant, always open, always local, and Ruby Tuesday Guam, home of the Fresh Garden Bar.
Properties in the Tropics is your weekly roundup of the hottest properties on Guam. Every Thursday, get a virtual walkthrough of homes, apartments, townhomes, and land available for lease, rent, or sale, with a breakdown of the most important info, including cost, features, and of course, location details. Watch it on KUAM News Hotspot at noon on streaming and TV8, or catch the encore at 5 p.m. on TV11. You can also check out each installment on Instagram too. Properties in the Tropics is presented by RE/MAX Diamond Realty.
The KUAM Care Force, in partnership with the UOG Center for Island Sustainability, Guam Green Growth, and UOG Sea Grant, is proud to present a series of Sustainability Matters features all Earth Month long, including Green Leader Profiles on KUAM News Primetime, April 11th through the 15th, with Joe Nuggan-Charfris introducing you to people in our community, leading the way with sustainable businesses and practices. A Think Green Cleanup Showcase on Weekend Edition at the end of April, featuring your events around the island. And Tyler Matanani taking on the Sustainable Lifestyle Challenge, sharing her results every Friday on Hotspot. Plus, follow the KUAM News Instagram and Facebook pages for weekly tips from Guam Green Growth. Sustainability matters all month long on KUAM Communications.
We're taking care of business with GTA on KUAM Digital. Tips and advice for your business to get more productive, efficient, and streamlined with pro tips, tools, and other services. We're navigating through the best practices in tech, operations, and beyond every month with the help of our friends at GTA on KUAM Digital. GTA, we start with you.
Watch Mariana's artists, activists, and visionaries and their quest to protect, preserve, and promote our Chamorro culture on The Culture Club, a weekly feature on KUAM News digital platforms and the KUAM News Weekend Edition. Brought to you by Tropical Ice.
We're living in a new world with new ways of communicating, connecting, and moving through life.
Every day seems to be marked with change, and with all these changes, you need trusted people you can rely on for advice and insights about the things that really matter.
Let Gina and I walk you through everything you need to know about real estate, from buying to selling to renting, and all the details in between.
Join us with Jason Solis every week on House to Home.
House to Home every Tuesday on KUAM News Extra, presented by RE/MAX Diamond Realty.
Subscribe to our KOAM News Digest, our weekly email newsletter with all kinds of information straight to your inbox. Just subscribe and we'll make sure to keep you informed and entertained with news from the KOAM News team, what to watch on NBC and CBS, and the latest promotions from KOAM Communications. Go to KOAM.com, click on the newsletter tab at the top of the homepage, register, and you're all set. Brought to you by Uno Go, Guam On Demand.
Join KUAM Communications as we reflect and pray for the Lenten season with the Lisodzon Ordinario para Quaresma. We humbly ask you to join us in prayer in Samoro or English at 7 p.m. nightly from Ash Wednesday, March 2nd to Good Friday, April 15th on Isla Samoro Streaming Radio. Find it on demand on the KUAM Podcast Network and across all of our social media platforms. Lisodzon Ordinario para Quaresma, only on KUAM. Rejoice, for he has risen.
We are back on this Tuesday, April 12th edition of The Link. Jason Salas here. Glad to be part and have you guys along for the ride because we are bringing into the KUM News Zoom Room two friends of the show from the Society of Human Resources Management, a very, very worthwhile organization and one that I would say the industry of HR, we've talked about this many times on the show, has gained in so much more criticality and importance. Probably in the minds of like many people that just naively thought that HR was the place that you go when you first get hired and if you get in trouble like me and then when you get fired. So we have Mike Pangilinan, who is the Vice President of Programs for the Guam chapter of SHRM, and then we have Daphne Leon Guerrero, who is the President of the organization. So really, really glad to have the both of you here because we are talking about the issue today of DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, something that is absolutely important to our island economy and to organizational behavior on Guam. So Mike and Daphne, Hafaday, and welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us, Jason. Good morning. And Sabrina, thank you so much.
Good morning, Jason, Sabrina.
Good
to see you both.
All right. Mike, this is becoming a recurring thing. We bring you on whenever matters of organizational confrontation, crisis, but in this case, opportunity comes up.
Well, I appreciate that you invited me back to talk about things. Sometimes I'm here to talk about changes in the law that have happened over the past couple of years that need interpretation. But today we're here to talk about one of our monthly briefings that SHRM Guam puts on each month. Try to do it every month, and they're just these 90-minute briefings that we do in the morning once a month on different relevant topics in HR. And I think this one's particularly exciting because it's something that's so relevant to HR and business right now, and that's diversity, equity, and inclusion. And so we've got one that's happening tomorrow morning from 8:30 to 10 in the morning. It's virtual. It's our last virtual briefing before we go back live next month, and we're excited about that. But it's a topic that I've learned a lot about in the past year and a half that I've been with SHRM. It's a little bit out of my wheelhouse as an attorney to talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion, because it's not so much legal compliance as it is really a business strategy and a philosophy of workforce that not only makes for a happier employee, but also for more productivity and a better bottom line.
And that's interesting, Mike, because do you think a lot of businesses should see DEI as something philosophical, or should they make this kind of like part of their core business practice going forward?
Well, no, that's kind of what we're going to be talking about tomorrow. That I think that it's been over the past, probably really 5+ years. It's been something that businesses have known through the studies that have been done, that having a diverse and inclusive workforce is better for business. And so that's something that's really not even debated anymore within the HR and business community. It's just understood. Just a question of how do you implement it. So that, to take it from accepting the concept to actually putting it into action. And that's why we're bringing out an expert on this, that's going to appear virtually and kind of lead the discussion tomorrow. Sean V,
right?
She's an adjunct professor from UC Riverside, and the founder of a company out there that specializes in diversity and anti-harassment in the workplace and helping businesses and organizations kind of get through that. So we're going to have an expert that's going to lead the discussion that's going to explain how to actually implement that policy and make it something that works in your workplace.
Yeah, and Daph, if you could talk a little bit more about Sean V in the presentation he will be giving tomorrow.
Sure. So definitely. So last year when we had our annual conference, we had another world-renowned speaker, Dr. Milton Perkins, introduce this concept of DE&I because, it hasn't really been as present here on Guam as it has been, stateside. So what he introduced it at the higher level. And so we wanted to break it down to the basics and really explore how we can implement these DE&I initiatives in our workplace, but also help us to understand, because what a lot of even our board members were saying is, I don't really understand why we use, what is the purpose of using pronouns, right? And that's where, after your name, you'll have your pronouns, she, her, hers, those types of things. So really just the basics of DE&I. And Sean, she has her master's degree in diversity, equity, and inclusion. And she said, hey, I can break it down and really go down to the basics of how or why DE&I is important. What are the concepts behind DE&I, and how can you build actions around these initiatives in the workplace? So that's why we wanted Sean here, is so that she can give us, just the meat and potatoes of DE&I, because we got the high level. We all know, as Mike said, that DE&I initiatives are good for the employees and also good for the organization. So now how do we take that and how do we institutionalize it, build it into our policies and our practices, our incentive programs, things of that nature? How do we carry it forward? So that's what Sean is going to be.
Do either of you think that the business managers or like big thinkers on Guam would be maybe a little bit more receptive and to the concept of, because with diversity, like on Guam, it's such a diverse population anyway. It's like we grow up having friends from all different walks of life, and we have friends who live like on base and have been all over the world and everything like that. So I would think this would be kind of like ingrained in us to actually incorporate this. And maybe like Mike, you said from a business standpoint, you increase your workforce diversity and inclusivity, you have a richer tapestry of opinions and creativity levels and different ways of perceiving things and everything. And I would think this would greatly improve your bottom line.
I think that that's one of the things that people in Guam, business leaders in Guam, might initially react to this thinking, well, do we really need this on Guam? Because we have so much diversity as it is, and we're already so diverse. But I think what I've learned just over the past year and a half about that is that every place, every region in the U.S. has its mix of backgrounds and ethnicities and cultures. But there's still something to be learned about diversity, equity, and inclusion, no matter where you are. Because maybe our mix of backgrounds is different than somewhere in Iowa is, but we still have biases. We still, certain populations within our community we sort of treat, we may have a tendency to treat differently. And we have to get through that, and we have to understand that these concepts are important everywhere. And when you actually implement it, and even though you're implementing it really, as to different groups in different places, but the concepts are the same concepts, and the biases can really be just as strong in a culture like this as they can be in any other place. So I think it's really important. But I think, it's something that we need to learn more about. And like Daphne said, it hasn't caught on as much maybe out here as it has in the States within the HR and business communities, because some people here are still unfamiliar with it. But having gone through this pandemic and having seen, sort of all the innovation that businesses have to go through, it's just become even more apparent that how necessary and how important this concept is, and how important it is to kind of get people aware of it out here.
And if I may add to that, Mike is exactly on point. But I know when people think about diversity, they usually think about race diversity. But there are other types of diversity within the workforce that we have to be concerned about. These are things like age diversity, disability, veteran status, sexual orientation. Those are the different types of diversity, and not just as a whole. Because yes, as a community, we are more diverse. But what does your leadership level look like? Are we diverse at all levels of the organization, not just as a whole? Because, what usually happens is as you move up into the hierarchy, what does your leadership team look like? Is that diversity reflected across the entire organization, or is it concentrated at certain levels and absent at certain levels? So when we look at diversity, we have to look at it that way. Are we giving people the opportunities equally across the board?
Sure. Well, I actually had a friend, Daph, who was with a company locally, and they actually hired someone who was of Muslim faith, and this was the first time anybody interacted anyone of that religion, and they said they were kind of confused, and they said, we're giving you the freedom to face to Mecca 5 times a day to pray, as part of your beliefs, but they also said from an HR standpoint, is the person still on the clock at that time? Do we, how do we handle this in terms of, their responsibilities? And they said, we absolutely wanted to be legit, but we just, there was kind of like this gray area where we didn't know as far as the operation. So I think this discussion is going to be absolutely wonderful. Something that everybody needs to participate. So real quick before we let you go, how can people register to participate and to avail of these discussions?
We've got our website. That's the best place. You can go to guam.sherm.org, and we've got a link on the website that allows you to register. Click the link. It's a very nominal fee, $25 for members, $35 for non-members. And while you're on the website, go ahead and become a member. That would be a good thing, because you'll have access to a wealth of information, and special pricing on all of our events going forward through the rest of the year. And the membership is easy, and you can click on the link, join as a member to join.
Absolutely. Trust me, guys, it's going to be one of the best memberships you ever enroll for. I mean, it pays for itself several times over. So Daphne and Mike, thank you very much for putting this on and what you continue to do for our business community. Very much appreciated.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having us.
All right. Have a wonderful Easter to the both of you and your families and your teams.
You too. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Okay, and now we're going to go to our link update.
All right, so once again, link update brought to you by our friends at Pacific Points, where you can do more, get more, and kind of playing off the theme of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Of course, today's big story is about the transgender athlete that was competing for Guam High, competing against Season. So that is today's top story.
It is brought to you by Pacific Points. Do more, get more.
Hafa Day and good morning. I'm Hannah Devonzo, and here are your headlines on the link. Guam's high school rugby league kicked off another season over the weekend, and concerns arose quickly from families as well as both coaches and players about a transgender competitor from the home of the Panthers. KUAM's Isaiah Uggan has the story.
3 Tizen high school female rugby athletes were physically injured Saturday by a transgender player from Guam High. In light of the incident, Conrad Kerber, the head coach for both Tizen boys and girls rugby teams, is calling out the league to address the concerns.
The aggressive nature that was witnessed clearly showed that it's a definite issue that we have to deal with. I had 3 players that were injured in that first game against Guam High, directly by that particular player. Right now, we just have to come together as a group and discuss the proper path to take, discuss what the parameters are with allowing transgender males in full contact sports such as rugby.
Although no official decision has been made and while discussions are ongoing, Kerber hopes the league will adopt the World Rugby Law Transgender Guideline, which states that transgender women may not currently play women's rugby because of the size, force, and power-producing advantages conferred by testosterone during puberty and adolescence, and the resultant player welfare risks serious injuries.
Body size, body strength, and the ability to apply force with that size and strength completely dominate any girl that I have on my team.
The Academy of Our Lady of Guam's rugby team coaches unanimously agreed to enforce this rule over the weekend. Aiming to follow the footsteps of the home of the Cougars, Kerber says it's a matter of safety for his female athletes.
It's purely a safety issue when we discuss transgender males playing in female sports at a youth level, particularly at this type of contact sport as well. And I'm basically in line with the World Rugby guidelines regarding transgender females, transgender males, I should say, playing female sports. And basically, across the world, it's not permitted.
To prevent any serious injuries throughout the season, Kerber stated the World Rugby law should be acknowledged on Guam.
It has to do purely with the size, force, strength disadvantage that transgender males will have over females in this type of sport.
There is no policy in place currently for outdoor leagues that bans the participation of transgender women in rugby.
My players will get through it, we'll heal, we'll use this next 2 weeks. We're lucky that we actually have a bye weekend so that we can heal properly.
Guam Rugby Football Union and Interscholastic Sports Association discussions are ongoing. KUAM News has reached out to Guam High coach Joe Mancuso and did not respond as of news time. Reporting for KUAM News, Guahusi Isaiah Uggan.
Senator Talina Nelson is facing major backlash following her introduction of Bill 291-36, also known as Guam Heartbeat Act of 2022. A press conference was held today by Guam People for Choice denouncing the bill, which they refer to as the latest election year anti-abortion copycat bill. Bill 291-36, titled the Guam Heartbeat Act of 2022, was introduced by Senator Talina Nelson. This bill was modeled after the Texas heartbeat law. The bill seeks to ban abortions when a heartbeat is detected. If an abortion is performed after a heartbeat is detected, non-government officials or employees can file a lawsuit with the Superior Court of Guam or District Court of Guam against anyone that performs or induces the abortion with a minimum fine of $10,000. However, mothers cannot be sued for having an abortion. Denouncing the bill are members of the Guam People for Choice. Lawyer and partner at the Areola law firm, Anita Areola, spoke during a press conference held this morning.
Even though it says that you can't have an abortion after 6 weeks and when a heartbeat is detected, most women do not know when they are pregnant because it's too early in their pregnancy for them to know that.
The bill's only exception in which an abortion is permitted is when a mother's health or life is at risk due to pregnancy.
There are no exceptions for rape, incest, or sexual assaults. Something that is really, so disturbing in an island here on Guam where we have the second highest rate of sexual assaults and rapes in the country.
According to Areola, the bill's introduction was highly predictable.
It's not uncommon, and in fact it's pretty common for senators to sponsor anti-abortion bills during an election year. don't really understand why they don't do it during a non-election year, but they do it during an election year, obviously, to cater and pander to votes and to get reelected.
Attorney Ariola claims they will be writing letters to all of the senators encouraging them to vote against this bill. In addition, the Guam People for Choice started an online petition in opposition of the bill and have almost 1,000 votes. KUAM reached out to Senator Talina Nelson for comment and have yet to hear back as of news time. Republicans are crying foul over messaging that's circulating on social media that they say contain false information about a controversial resolution scheduled to be discussed at legislative session on Thursday. In a news release, the Republican Party of Guam complained about postings that claim Senator Chris Dueñas' resolution to end the public health emergency would jeopardize aid for 15,000 families and 45,000 children. They say the resolution addresses many of the concerns of frontliners and are open to suggested changes. They also said they're disappointed that dirty tactics are being used to discredit Minority Leader Senator Dueñas in a critical legislative process which will restore our people's freedom while taking away supreme powers of the governor when it comes to procurement and hiring. Once again, the hearing on the Dueñas resolution is scheduled for Thursday at 10 a.m. And it's no secret that Guam's gas prices are extremely high compared to the rest of the nation. But according to a detailed cost analysis of local fuel retailers, Congressman Michael San Nicolas says they appear to be making excessively high profits off the back of local consumers. Nestor Lecanto reports.
Congressman San Nicolas says it just doesn't add up. Based on his investigation and review, which included testimony from confidential industry insiders, he was able to verify the total landed cost for the private sector, including shipping, fees, taxes, and delivery to local pumps, comes out to about $3.56 before profit.
What is it going to be sold at? $5.7980, a difference of $2.24 per gallon. The profit that the gas stations are making from landed cost to retail cost outside the base is $2.24 per gallon. That's a lot. That's a profit margin of 62.9%, about 63% profit margin.
He says the average profit margin nationally is 20%. Separately, the Congressional Research Office confirmed for him that the 17-cent per gallon federal excise tax on fuel, it doesn't apply here.
Now step back and think about it for a minute. If the national average on retail gas prices is a margin of 20 or 30%, and if our margins here are 62.9%, and we don't pay that federal excise tax, then where is that federal excise tax savings? We're not even realizing that.
And to further make his case, San Nicolas also did a comparison with local military gas prices, which are much cheaper. He says, contrary to popular belief, DOD pays the same costs as the private sector.
They bring the fuel the exact same way, through the exact same channels and the exact same cost centers as all of our gas stations do outside of the base.
As of April 7, gas inside was $4.31 a gallon. Outside, it was $5.79, or 34% higher. San Nicolas also asked the Federal Trade Commission to investigate why local gas stations all charge the same prices all at the same time. But the FTC told him they need a whistleblower to come forward to investigate collusion. Finally, San Nicolas suggests that Speaker Terlahi's recent legislation to lift the liquid fuel tax is not a lasting solution and will reduce much-needed government revenue. His answer is to limit the profits of fuel companies to 30%. Anything more will be taxed and rebated back to consumers.
Make a healthy industry standard profit. But you're not going to harm the people of Guam and hold them hostage just because you can, and just because we cannot prove that you're colluding.
For KUAM News, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
Over in the NMI, Governor Ralph Torres faces potential fines.
Buenos updates to get some to be tuned sa morgan ni KUAM News. Presenta ni Familian Mito gi First Hawaiian Bank. Manugong ni Partidan Republican pada di mensahe ni manalililiko gi medan sosial na masangan mandagi na informasyon pada di resolusyon ni para madiskuti ni legislatura gi dunia session gi Webes. News release seperti dan Republican Guahan sa mga complain pun mensahe siya no kaklaman na resolution Senador Chris Duenas no para humanapara public health emergency sa siyempre ni napara na sisti para 15 meet na familia ng kunong 35 meet na famaguon. Ilingin na resolution sa diput siya regla siyempre at isan may gana kwestiyon niya siya gini frontliners na mabababay petan niya para hod si Malago manay abiso para matulay kat palu. Masang lakoy naman disganaw siya ni napasa siya na arti ni man nasasabi para ni namansalan niya si Duenas numaga si minority gila legislatura dan sandalikaw na hinano gila legislatura no ni naitatay ginefsaga metros manasuay po dari gobyerno gi procurement sa ni man hire na manera. Umbay talo yun na kung resolution Duenas sa basketso para ilas des gi egan gi iwebes. Masasunto man maibibisay manggay giba na segundo na cycle para di Homeowners Assistance Fund na programa sa mababa esta. Nuri report kayo medyo na programa sa esta hulog 15 mil pesos na inazudo para di siya mangkwalifika na manggay giba para apas mortgage utilities para ng assistant propiedad. Aplikasyon para este sa sinamatsuli gi niya website di Departamento ng Administrasyon di doa.guam.gov. Aplikasyon para HAF na programa sa man maaksesepta este dia 22 gi Abril. Imanakabalis na aplikasyon sa David Masamiti gipusina ni DOA gisigundu bibenda gi ITC building gizatamuning. Mas talo, aji low-income household water assistance na programa sa sinya masodagi sa niya website ng Departamento ng Administrasyon. Yung programa sa nagwahasalapi para di bang kwalifika pero fanay na juda maapasi delinkwente na biyohanom para jud siya esta para fan mauto ta ihanom niya. Umbiyaya esti na judo esta hulog gi pesos. Aplikasyon sa maksasepta desti dia 5 gearbit esta dia 6 gimadzo. Imanakabalis na aplikasyon sa David Masamiti direktamento gati gipusina ni DOA gi segundo bibenda gi ITC building gizatamuning. Ito muna suntag ifinut sa moro para pago na Martes gin ni KUAM News. Humilili Komite ng Edukasyon si Senadora Telina Nelson sa paraw nagwa public hearing para dos na legislasyon no ninay exemption ni eskwelang publiko gi para manakabali si 180 dias sa finanagbi pare-pareho sa 900 na orang finanagbi dyan na dispensa todo estudyante ng eskwelang publiko ni para manakabali sa 75 oras na mandated service learning hours. Public hearing para este sa masketso para Lunes dedi si 8 gi Abril si las 10 gi egan sa las 12 gi taloani gi Guam Congress Building gi hagat niya para ma-livestream loki gi plego ni legislatura gi YouTube. Para Guam News Network, Guam si Ken Conception. Yasuto gi finut sa moro sa presenta sa ninafatto ni Familian Mizo gi First Hawaiian Bank.
Say hello to the First Hawaiian Bank mobile app. Want a better look at your spending? With Money Map, you can automatically create budgets and manage where your money is going. Know when you have a green light or when it's time to slow down. Maybe cook more meals at home this week. Set your goals, track your progress, and find your way to exactly where you want to be. With Money Map from the First Hawaiian Bank mobile app. It all starts with yes.
We have just enough time to set you off with some really good island music now. So on behalf of our link crew here, Jason Salas, Uncle Ken on the board, DJ Joser making us sound and look good, and of course the incomparable Sabrina Salas Matanani, we wish you a pleasant Tuesday, everybody. It is kind of wet out there, so please be safe on the island's roads. There's a lot of stuff we're covering. You'll see Bree and I at 12 o'clock for Hotspot, and then everything coming up, including a follow-up story on what's happening with the controversy surrounding the transgender athlete. But here is Cover Me, of course, brought to you by Docomo Pacific, where they are here to help. Their affordable connectivity program helps you connect to things that matter most with $30 off selected internet plans. Check out Docomo Pacific at their Tamuning headquarters to see if you qualify, where qualifying households get a free router. Yes. With an additional $45 off for a limited time only. Visit Docomo Pacific and ask about their affordable connectivity plan today, where Docomo Pacific, they are better together. And Burger King sponsors Cover Me. And just in time for Lent, try the BK Big Fish Sandwich or Impossible Whopper. 100% Whopper, 0% beef. BK your way. That is a show, everybody. Enjoy Cover Me, and we will see you this afternoon.
Alam and Hussein.